invincible.
Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you. In the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
Welcome, everybody, to our first week of the double elimination of the playoffs. Getting started here. A little bit of a delay, unfortunately, getting into things. There were some server issues here and there, and I think when it gets to this stage, the players want to make sure that everything is perfect. I am, of course, Scriv, joined here today by my good friend John Allen. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well. I'm excited to be back here doing some NUEL broadcasts. We are doing Liverpool versus Leeds today, and I think we're just in the ninth round.
Yeah, so it should very quickly be getting into things. Going to be interesting. I think both these teams here are really raring to go after a bit of a delay. They don't get streamed too often either. Done quite well, I think, to get into the top 16 here. So it should be interesting to see, and hopefully a very close matchup as well. Just to give you a bit of a basic idea, so we're going to do a best of one here. That will decide who goes through to the winners bracket and the losers bracket, and then we'll do another best of one, and I think we'll probably follow along with the winners bracket. That's the format for this week, and then next week the winners bracket will be best of threes, with the losers bracket remaining in best of ones. But either way, getting into the pistol round here with Liverpool, Great Phoenix on that CT side. A little bit of utility brought up. Interestingly, a Molotov, not something that we see very often from the CTs. Meanwhile, on the T side, we've got that full Glock by looking to play a bit of a contact play over towards B.
Yeah, they're just stepping up straight away over to the B side of the map, and HB is going to be the first to take the face push through the underpass. Doesn't quite land the headshots, finally claims one, traded out, and he's got the info he needs. They're going to now try and take some more ground. They've lost the surprise element. They're looking to push through the apartments, trying to push over towards B. Shubler will be on the front, lands the headshot nicely, doubles it up as well for the second. Now looking on to Troot as well. See if he can find another one, but he's just going to back off. The bomb still in the hands of the T's, but there's only two of them left alive.
Jack was on the flank as well, trying to fake over towards A, and unfortunately his teammates all go down, so it adds to that weight here before the T's are able to make any moves. Again, info getting gathered. Pincer coming in now. The containment from the CTs is really going to put a spanner in the works. If they are not careful, they're going to have to find the picks here, and I think it's just going to be a little bit too difficult. No utility at all, and there you go. Shubler getting aggressive, gets himself a third for the round, drops the bomb, and there's only 30 seconds remaining. So Jack, it's going to be a very difficult ask. They seem to have a bit of an idea that he's over towards that underpass area as well. Got to pick up 2 kills on B and then try and get that bomb down. Takes down Shubler, not allowing him to get the 4K. Now he's got his hands on the bomb. He does have a chance if he can act quickly here and hit the heads. Going to spot out Nightmare, so does actually get it, but unfortunately there's a player over towards Market, really making this difficult as he's trying to get the bomb out. Does pull out the fake. Stefan now coming through the window, going to tap him down, and will get the body spam in. Jack, unfortunately, too many angles, too many players to find.
I think if he'd have stuck that plant, he might have been able to get it there. He did go for the fake instead, though, and it was pretty much the best he could do in a bad situation. You know, you're 1v4, it's late in the game. You get 2 kills. That's pretty good already. So should be happy to pick that one up. And a standard force buy, second round T, as you didn't get the plant. They are just going to opt to go for that armor, get a couple of deagles on board, and that scout's already gone straight away as HB finds a second head.
This is something I think that you see a lot of the time between experienced and inexperienced teams. Trying to take mid control when you have no utility on Mirage is pretty much a no-no. And you see there why it gets immediately shut down and the round is pretty much over here, bar some hero play from the scout. 1 kill does come in with the deagle through the wall onto the low HP of HB. But now, of course, he's got to find 4 more. And with the scout in hand, not looking too good. But yeah, as I say, I think Leeds here, just it's a little bit risky. You have to either come around that corner at the top of middle and immediately hit a deagle headshot, or you've lost control of mid because you're just going to get pushed from short and connector as well as the window, and you've got no utility to kind of isolate angles. Talking of deagle headshots, though, Chris will find Scoggins and now leaves him in a 1-on-3.
He's going to be holding up close by Chair, has the bomb, has 45 seconds to play with, so he's not without a paddle, but the current's pretty strong and he's probably going to get swept away with it. The bomb moving up mid. Looking to maybe go towards connector, towards A. Maybe thinking about underpass, but no, he's pretty much committed now. 27 seconds left. Moving towards the window room. Might be going for the wrap onto B. Has players to contend with no matter where he decides to go. So it will be tricky no matter what avenue he decides to go for. I think he's spotted out something towards CT, but he can go for the plant here without getting peeked. But he's going to go for the face. Stefan will win the spray. And again, the fake doesn't quite pay off for them, as it is a second round for Great Phoenix.
Yeah, a little bit kind of cocky again, or just sort of misreading the situation. Got a pause coming in here from the Liverpool side. It's going to be Shubler, I think, dropping out there for whatever reason, whether it be a connectivity.
Yeah, it was just a tech issue. It was just a tech
issue. Hopefully, shouldn't be too long getting into things. I see we've now got a formulated pause system, which is pretty cool. That we can see it come up on the screen and whatnot.
Well, that's just the standard. That's just the standard CS:GO matchmaking pause. I don't know if they're using the server commands or not, okay. Because of course it's counting down, which means they've only got a minute to get him back in.
That's very true.
So, I mean, has anyone told them how to pause?
Who knows? Who knows? I mean, you'd hope so. They've been through about 3 or 4 servers this evening, so that would kind of be the taking the Michael, as you would say, if they don't know how to get the pause.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
Well, no, I think there's a phrase in our minds that we all know we would say, but family show. So
there we go. All right, Shubler's back in, and just in time as well. 5 seconds left on the buy time.
Yeah, it should be quite interesting here from the T side. They've got a little bit of utility in the hands of Chris. Obviously, in that previous round, getting a few kills, he's able to afford that. The goal here is, I think, with any kind of eco force buy round, is to get the bomb down, get some extra money going forwards. But it's going to be difficult. No armor on any of these players. They're just going to get ripped apart. That smoke as well, I think, is going over towards jungle. They've got HB on the flank, so they really have to act quickly and hope that they can get the bomb down. Actually, I think that smoke's going to go towards default if they're able. HB, man, what is that? Missing the shots on Chris, in all honesty. Should be finding those. Thought that was a surefire end of round at that point, but not going to pay off, unfortunately. The Molotovs and nades do go in. This utility being used well by the CTs now, as the fountain of T-side players going to come flying out. Stefan picks up 3. The final 2 are blinded. Oh, and Scoggins manages to get one in all the chaos there to deny the ace. And
all going over to the M4. All going over to the M4 there, which was probably not the best form of giving those kills over. You do want to be giving them to the SMGs, especially on an eco. That's the sort of round where you can capitalize on the kill reward to maximum effect. And of course, they all just ran out with pistols only, so they weren't expecting to win that round. They were maybe looking to get a plant, maybe looking to get a pick and grab a gun, but getting those onto the M4, not the best of situations.
No, for sure. And I mean, the flank from Chris, not from Chris, from HB onto Chris was pretty ineffective in terms of picking up the kill, because the aim from HB was questionable to say the least. But it did, in a way, strategically, it forced the T's to have to kind of rush out. They weren't able to get their smoke down, which I think in that kind of a setup where they only have the one smoke, the one flashbang, it'll be a smoke in between triple and default, so that they're able to kind of try and run through and get the bomb down and only have to worry about someone from stairs or whatever. So the idea was there, but unfortunately they just took a little bit too long on it as well on that T side, so not able to get the bomb down at all, which means they're by going forward. Obviously on that T side, it's a little bit easier. Your economy is not as expensive, for sure, but still not quite as much utility on some of these players as perhaps they would like in terms of Molotovs, especially to flush out some of the positions. Obviously, a pause there. Shubler has dropped out again, so seems to be having some connectivity issues. I'll shoot across and have a look.
I think he's just crashed or something like that. Yeah. I think he's just having a couple of tech issues his end, but yeah, as you say, like the HB flank wasn't super effective at getting the kills, but something I think it was effective at was actually forcing leads into a situation that they didn't want to be in. They had to push forwards. They had to play on that front. And at that stage, you saw the utility come down from Great Phoenix. You saw the Molotov in front, the nade go in. And already, like, even before the push, Chris was taken down to like 20 HP or thereabouts, which meant that even when they went for the push, they were at a massive disadvantage. That use of utility from Great Phoenix was very, very good. Even if HB wasn't able to land the shots, the Glocks couldn't have competed with him at that range. So he would have just been able to shut him down. And his weight on the push, not allowing them any more ground to fall back and go for the rotate, meant that everyone could just rotate in and go for that pincer maneuver. So whilst it might not have been, the best aim, might not have been the best shots coming out, it still was very, very effective in the position that it allowed them to gain.
Yeah, if there's any round that you're going to miss shots in, that's a good one as well. You mentioned the Glocks and whatnot, like you say, they're not going to be able to fight back. Shoveler is back in here, dropping an AWP across to HB. Will be interesting to see what he's able to do with that. I would like to say for Shoveler, touchwood, there'll be no more issues going forwards, but of course, cannot promise anything. Is there any indication, because obviously I have chat and everything turned off, is there any indication as to why he's dropping out, or is he just like timing out?
I think it's just his PC has an issue. There's not much more information than that, unfortunately, available. So yeah, we'll see. So round underway now, finally. An AWP being given over to HB, being stationed over by Connector, playing up a little bit aggressive. So if they do opt to go for that peak, they could come a cropper.
I do like this, though. Stefan's running with him. Unfortunately, missing the shot on top middle from HB. But still, the idea is there, and going forward, it bodes well to kind of have this coordination on that CT side to make sure that if you are going to get aggressive, you'll at least trade 1-for-1 in the kind of worst case scenario.
They're pushing up mid. They're taking some ground now. So Leeds started to become a little bit more proactive. They're pushing forwards. As you said, they use that utility to allow them to get into mid. And now they're going to try and execute onto the A site. But Stefan's waiting on the stairs, gets both of the kills. And immediately that pincer is completely crippled. Now, they need to find a pick or an opening somewhere, somehow. But HB won't let that happen. Already taken down Chris. Stefan still on the stairs. His teammate flanking in allows him to push on up, and the spray comes through. Stefan is stalwart on the A side.
He's feeling it from that earlier round, even though it was only against the Glocks. He's like, right, I've got my aim on, and the spray is connecting. Just go for it. And he really is beautiful stuff. And he is 10-0, 5 rounds in, which is quite something, to say the least. But yeah, in reality, a really good round, not only on the individual play, but again, that aggression towards middle allows sort of no mistakes pretty much. And then what I mentioned previously at the start of the round, the lack of utility on that T side. Once they lost those 2 players, like you say, the pincer on mid completely fails, and then they have to just run out like headless chickens and hope for the best, and not able to get anything done. And now on a bit of a soft eco, a few deagles and a CZ.
I'll try and get something. Again, they're just playing up and trying to go for a contact play on B. They have the position in apartments, but they just aren't launching it. This is the second time we've seen them do this. First time was on the pistol round. Now they're just being slowed down a little bit more by the smoke, but they're still there. We'll get spotted out. The CZ rains off a volley to start us off, and they're not going just yet. But as they start to speed up, Nightmare flanks in from the short, and Shoveler will have his pistol out and waiting. Great Phoenix able to hold so far, looking to try and take these Deagles down. The spray is good as well. Shoveler down to 19 HP, not looking to take that initial face. HB will rotate into that position, and there we go. They're just cut off yet again in the underpass. Scoggins from the window will just shut it out, and 5-0 is a scoreline. Liverpool really running away with this one.
Yeah, and as we can see again, from the auto director perspective, it was Scoggins that gets those final 2 kills, but Nightmare was there on short to kind of clean up if need be. So again, that CT coordination, rotating together, getting aggressive together, really does bode well going into the future of this game. Like you say, really starting to run away with it. Having some pretty one-sided rounds. It might be 5-0, and obviously winning that pistol, you kind of get the guaranteed 2 rounds after as well. But that gun round was just, one person essentially wins it, and that is difficult to deal with, because then as well, as soon as Stefan becomes quiet, you've also got other players that are sort of unknown quantities to the lead side that can also win a 1 versus 3 clutch or get a triple spray down in B-apps or something like that, that they're not going to be preparing for.
They're just timing out, making sure everyone's right as rain. Seems like we don't have any more tech issues going through, although I think we actually might have a bot on the side of University of Leeds. Yeah. So another pause coming through. Goodness me, we're just plagued by issues today. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. Seems cursed as we start the kind of playoff stages. It seems a bit hit and miss. Chris is back in.
Oh, there we go.
And luckily, I think, I'm not sure in terms of rules, I don't think they'd be able to pull in a sub, but if they really needed to, on that lead side, they've got about 6 players, 7 players. So they've got subs on the lead side, but Liverpool, having a look on the fixtures and whatnot, Liverpool unfortunately do not. So if there's
They're
anyone
locked
that's
in.
going to have issues, let's hope it's Leeds, I suppose. If they
Let's
have
hope
to
it's
lose
no one.
any players. Well, yes, of course, the ideal situation.
Of course, we can't have everything we want in life, and it seems like Leeds can't have anything in this game at all. Liverpool really bringing the hurt so far. HB will be taking face in mid, but they're not going to peek just yet. They've tried to flash it out, but they actually haven't taken the aggression. HB does know they're there, and pre-nading it off, allowing him to get an aggressive peek towards underpass. They're starting to gain ground, and given that Leeds are being just completely passive, Liverpool have started getting more and more active, and you can see that. He pushed up mid, lands the headshot, and immediately rotates the connector. HB is just standing tall, but 2 kills come through. Suddenly, Leeds have an opening. They're starting to gain some ground. They need to try and capitalize. The push comes through from connector. White needs to get the kill, but it's Chris to get it from the Palace. Scoggins at the back of sight is able to shut him down, but now it's a 2 versus 3. They should be able to start to push in onto the site. The nade just zoning Liverpool out. They don't have position, but the bomb isn't down just yet. That smoke
That's
not really going to be
terrible
doing
smoke.
anything. It's not.
Yeah,
It's
White's
not
on
covering anything, and that. Ooh, the AWP covering the angle is the only thing that was saved his bacon there. Shubler, last man standing, and finally Leeds get around.
Yeah, I thought that might have gone the way of the CTs there. That smoke, like you say, not ideal over towards the CT area. However, maybe intentional, who knows? But they played off of it very well. White was very up close and personal to the CTs and only on 10 HP, didn't look too good, but the AWP in the hands of Scruter definitely did work out, although it's going to be Jack, which I think might be based off spawns here. Will be interesting to see who's actually going to come out and be the dedicated AWP for this T side. But either way, able to take a round. HB opening up now onto White towards middle, though, definitely is going to make it more difficult to avoid that reset situation that the terrorists will be dreading at this point. Leeds really don't want that to happen. A good nade onto Chris as well, going to do a fair amount of damage. They know he's there. This Molotov comes in to try and flush him out of position. Not able to pick up the kill, but they have at the very least cleared out that corner and made their job later in the round a little bit easier. And of course, still having that man advantage on the CT side makes it a hell of a lot more difficult for the lead side going into the A execute.
HB keeps playing very, very aggressive. You can see him pushing all the way through mid. Leeds going to start to roll on through to the A site. Riggers able to check down Dark, but Scoggins gets a little gap through the smoke, and he's going to punish. Pushes on through the bomb. It's starting to get planted. However, there's a lovely spray from Chris, taking a lot of damage onto Scoggins as well. Has to fall back. Jack's taking face close, but Scoggins wins the trade. Now the AWP on site, looking to hold strong. The firebox on fire. Looking to live up to its namesake. Not a lot of HP left for these terrorists. They're playing back. They're playing passive. They know where they are. No nades, fortunately, for the side of Liverpool. Great Phoenix looking to fly on in, but he spots ahead, jumps on through. Shubler will close it out. 6 seconds left. Sorry, 6 HP. 5 seconds on the defuse, and Shubler just flicks up and to the right. There it goes. The defuse kit is there, and Great Phoenix will shut it on down, giving them a real bad situation on their economy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a difficult one because they had the man advantage. They did really well to recover that A bomb site, even, you know, despite I wouldn't say a failed smoke. It's very, very difficult to perfect that smoke over towards jungle and the stairs area to make sure that there isn't a gap on either side. It does happen quite often, but I think it might have been Riggers got a little bit too aggressive towards jungle, gets taken down. He's got a teammate on 6 HP and one with an AWP in hand who then gets flushed out of position in the firebox, and ultimately the post plant position's just not good enough for the T side. And the fully bought up, you know, full utility and kits and whatnot on that CT side make it easy pickings. Jack, though, with the CZ, finds the head of Scoggins over towards middle. Little bit of Deagle spray coming in. Riggers, a nice little flick in the end there to pick up Nightmare. Now going to be able to get their hands on an M4. It's going to be Stefan with it all to do. He is the danger man of this CT side. Takes down Chris, but not able to find the players in jungle right now. Shubler, though, is ready for them off the back of that info. So a 3-on-2, and you would give it to the CTs in this situation. But Jack here finding himself a second with that M4. And now up against the two AWPs, really doesn't matter about the aim punch. Does not come into play here. Because, of course, you know, the AWP, one shot, one kill, whether you've got armor, whether you've got no armor. Bomb plant does go down. A missed shot from HB as well, going to make it a hell of a lot more difficult. They've got to play up close and personal now to find these angles, play that shotgun AWP style, which is going to play into the hands of the M4s on that T side. Oh, a beautiful no-scope comes in from HB, though. 2 versus 1 as Schroeter now in the position to play the bomb on the ramp. Whether he'll be able to, though, remains to be seen as the M4 gets traded out by Shubler, and a really good retake, especially from him for the Great Phoenix side.
Easy peek there for Shubler with the M4. He knew as soon as that smoke went down, as soon as the diffused noise came through, he would be getting shot at from wherever he was hiding. So he comes on through, just gets an easy spray down. So a nice retake there coming out from Liverpool. By all accounts, shouldn't have won it. HB able to land the close-up shot with the AWP and able to close it out. So 7-1 now. And it just looks like Leeds aren't coordinated. They aren't playing together. You know, they're sort of going for this front-facing style of play. They're winning the trades on a coin toss, but after their plants, it's just not going their way. They're not setting up right. They don't have the utility left over. They don't have the discipline to get in those positions that they need to be in. And Liverpool are just absolutely taking them to task for it. It's absolutely brutal to see the amount that Liverpool are just able to rotate around them and make the space that they need to work with.
Well, that's a separation kind of in CS of the two things that you need, right? The aim and the brain, as it were, right? In terms of taking a bomb site, I think the aim definitely is the key part of that, or holding the bomb site. A little bit of utility can be expended, but when it comes to the post-plant positions and kind of thinking, right, a player can be here, or he can be flanking from here, or to neglect a certain angle because you don't have much time on the clock, that's when the cognitive kind of aspect of CSGO comes into play. And if your teammates are there to help you out, it makes things a hell of a lot easier. HB with a nice shot on the edge of the smoke allows Stefan as well to get a bit more aggressive towards ramp. Will take down Jack, but 3 quick kills coming in for the for the T side rather. Brings it back into a 2-on-2 now. Schroeter and White have got it all to do as White gets the bomb down. HB ever aggressive with the AWP, and a beautiful flick to find the head of White will now leave Schroeter in the 1-on-2. Able to connect the spray a little bit longer than it would usually take, but either way, into the 1-on-1. Shubler has not got very much utility here. He's got the one flashbang, not going to flash up Schroeter. Schroeter is just kind of tapping away. Left on 11 HP. Molotov goes in, but I think if he holds this, Shubler's going to have it, and he will. The kill comes in for Schroeter, but Shubler there gets on that bomb quite early and just goes for the hold. You know, pros don't fake, as they say.
Yeah, that was way too late on that Molotov. He had it and should have dropped it almost immediately as soon as he saw Shubler pushing up. Just drop it down on the bomb. You're forcing him to take the fight with you to stop you getting in that arch position. That's going to be a little bit stronger for you rather than over on Tetris. But he didn't do so. He stalled. He waited. Wasn't able to get it down, and they lost the bomb for it. So yet again, another round they could have won. They weren't in the right position after the plant. They weren't able to convert the round after getting the plant. And now again, HP playing super aggressive with the AWP. Able to find the pickoff onto Riggers. They've lost a player already. This is a gun round. They needed to be able to open it up here, but it just seems like they aren't being given the opportunity. And again, the aggressive push from Liverpool, just taking it all the way up mid, rotating on through the map and closing down the ground that Leeds have available to them. It's just really, really smooth and synchronized. But immediately Leeds shut me up as they do take 2 kills, start to roll on through to the B bomb site. And it looks like they're going to be able to get it. The bomb should go down as well, as it's quite a long rotate for Liverpool.
Yeah, playing more players over towards A is a little bit risky, perhaps. The aggression on mid allows them to pull that rotate out earlier, but it was kind of down to Nightmare on that B-bomb site to hold things down. So the post-plant position's coming in here. Nice little spray from Chris to take down Stefan. Very quickly traded back by Scoggins, but it's AWP on the retake. You would say it's very difficult. Jack actually finds the final 2 kills. HB gets one in between, but it's all over in an instant, pretty much. And 8-2 now for Leeds to find themselves back in, get a foot back in the door. And this is definitely a round that they should be able to string together and maybe make it an 8-3, 8-4 scoreline, as it's going to be in the force buy situation, possibly a double eco situation for the Great Phoenix side, for that Liverpool side.
Yeah, because they've been playing and winning these rounds, but as I say, like they keep getting the plants for leads, they keep getting kills, but they just can't convert, and that's the punishment they're coming through. But Jack just gets away with a little bit of a shimmy and a shake, left and right, jumps all the way away, and is able to close it down the orb onto the aggressive HP as well. Turns the corner. That's going to be an easy pickup for Jack. They're going to start to come on through. The bomb moving towards mid as they step up. Univ leads. Kindly just changing their name as I look up for it, but they are going to be just taking the ground here. This should definitely be their round, barring a miracle. Stefan still has that CZ. He might actually land the headshot. There we go. One onto Riggers. Is traded out by White. Jack pushing on from the ramp. Able to land the headshot onto Shuppler. And now it's going to be Nightmare with the Deagle and a Dream. Has the armor and the helmet and a smoke to work with. Lands the headshot onto Moshroot, but isn't going to last too much longer. So now it's just Liverpool trying to recoup what the advantage they had previously. You can see their economy is not very strong at all for a team who's won 8 rounds.
Yeah, that force buy is a little bit risky. I don't think they did as much damage as they should have done in that situation. They do pick up a couple of kills, but all in all, especially with this round coming after, all in all, Leeds are going to be quite happy with that one, and they should, in theory, be able to take this one with 4 or 5 players remaining. Overall, 4 USBs and a P250. You don't expect too much. An A stack coming in as well. That bomb looks like it wants to make its way towards B. They're not quite sure at this point. They're trying to get aggressive on middle on that T side. Shubbler's going to be the first port of call for the CT side. Scoggins is kind of the danger here with this P250 up close and personal. Spots out Jack. Not really able to connect the headshots, however. So, although they are playing into a stack here, you definitely give it to the superior weaponry, unless there's some crazy running forward from White. Just like that. Not really playing together.
What on earth was he doing? He should have easily won that trade. HB managed to land the headshot. Scoggins up close. Gets a double kill onto the bomb carrier. And Stefan's still alive. Riggers on 16 HP. One tap with the USP will do it. It's all in a 1v1 now. That's all he needs to be able to do. A lot of utility available for Leeds. As he drops him back. Stefan won't be able to spot the plant. The fake comes through. Stefan holds his nerve. Realizes that he's not a pro. And since pros don't fake, the opposite must be true. But now it comes down to the who is going to get the angle. It's going to be Stefan. Lands it, 1 HP. Stefan, 41, and lands the shot. Liverpool, I don't believe it. They've managed to clutch it out with an ace stack. As Leeds take a dive on a very easy round.
It is those situations where... so Scoggins up close and personal with the P250. Sometimes you can't do much about those situations. He's just finding his shots and you're a little bit caught out. Going for that A split, definitely risky as well because of the the difference in timing that the T's are going to be using. But it all kind of comes down to White just getting crazy aggressive in connector, not winning that fight, and there's no one there to kind of trade him immediately and allow the T's to recoup. So you think it's a simple mistake, a very small mistake that's not going to have much of an effect. But if he wins that fight, or if there's 2 players there to make sure that the fight, is outnumbered, as it were, a 2 versus 1 as opposed to an immediate 1 versus 1, then Leeds quite easily take the round. But that is really, really going to be painful in the communications in terms of the morale for your team. HB missing a rare shot onto Riggers in the underpass takes a lot of damage for his trouble as well. But they've got to be... HB was already confident after a round like that. I mean, he's going to be flying at the moment, not afraid to take big risks.
And that's something as well. Like they should have called that there was an A stack and just immediately swapped off towards B site. Like if you know you're taking face against 2 pistol players who don't normally play that close, you just rotate and you say, okay, well they might be going for an A stack since they're on pistols. You should be tracking their economy, and they just didn't. And they went for the face and they lost because of it. They lost those 2 players pushing out to Scoggins, who had a blinder on that P250. And, of course, the final kill coming out from Stefan was absolutely incredible as well. But even so, you don't take the face against a stack, and that's why.
Indeed. Jack picking up 2 quick kills here on that B bomb site. HB as well. Left on low HP from his earlier encounters. Definitely going to be more difficult for the CTs. Flash comes in, allows Stefan to take down Jack, but Moshroot trading it back. Stefan now really does need to come alive for his team. He's already found 2, but White will trade him back, and it's all on HP. With only 10 HP, as he tries to find something. No kit in hand, no utility at all, and Riggers will take him down. So at the very least, Uni of Leeds do reset the economy of that CT side. It remains to be seen at this point. I think they'll just go for the straight up eco going into the final round of the half. And I think if they can recover it back to a 9-6, it will definitely be a little bit of a mini comeback from Leeds here, and a good showing on that T side, despite the fact that they were down so heavily.
Well, this isn't really an eco round because, of course, remember that Liverpool and pistols is better than Uni of Leeds on rifles, because that seems to be the case,
true.
right?
That's true.
That's just how it goes. So apparently, that's not really what's going to happen. Again, they're pushing up, playing aggressive. We saw this previously on an eco. They will get spotted out by Chris, but the headshot comes through from HB. Chris, what are you doing? Oh, no, you can't be doing that. But Stefan does get shut down on a push. Jack now has 2 players to contend with on the back as the rest of his team is rotating through from mid. Playing up close, has a player up on high. And now he is able to get taken down again. HP finding the shot. 3 versus 3. The bomb now picked up. Scoggins to take the close face. Will get sprayed out around the corner. The flashbang to keep him pinned. Shubler getting pushed on towards the B site. Lands a shot with the deagle. And then it's going to be a little bit tricky, but the bomb is rotating on through as they start to wind it up. And, wow, HP's found himself a rifle. And he's starting to rack up the kills. 3 kills so far. Looking for 2 more. Would allow him the ace. Riggers and White holding for the T's on the site. Playing up close. Shubler lands the headshot. Riggers will go for the spray. Will find 1, and now it's him in a 1 versus 2. Shubler and Scoggins for the headshot with the deagle. And yet again, Liverpool pistols outweigh the Leeds rifles.
I think you should become a fortune teller, John, honestly.
I'm telling you, man. I'm going to get a tattoo of it.
Yeah.
Liverpool pistols greater than Leeds rifles.
It's ridiculous, again, that they're able to take that round. You know, it should, at that point, be a surefire win for Leeds. They have all the utility, they have all the weaponry they could possibly want up against, the weaker buy, and they just fall to not even like a full team rush. They're just caught alone, and 1 or 2 players able to pick them off quite easily, and it's really difficult to watch sometimes. But either way, final round of the half here. HB, of course, getting aggressive on towards middle. Finds White, able to get away completely unpunished. Riggers now finds the head of Nightmare. Clean little flick there to bring it back into a 4-on-4, but cost him a fair amount of his HP. Getting a bit overzealous. We'll go down to HB, and now Chris trades back Scoggins. So it's into a 3-on-3. HB as well on that 15 HP. Definitely does give them a chance, but again, 2 Galils for this T side.
Look at the bomb.
Oh yeah, the bomb making its way towards B. Could have been a correct read if Shubler had have gone for the full rotate.
I think they have a little inkling though, as they haven't pushed fully onto the A site. Leeds typically, that's what they tend to do. If they get the face, if they get a pick over towards that side of the map, they will go for the full face. So maybe they have an inkling and they will trade it out, and they will have a full inkling now that Liverpool need to go for the rotate. There's the nade through to take HP down to 10, and Leeds, they need to get in those post-plants positions, ready and waiting. This is a good setup for them. This is the situation that they want to find themselves in. The headshot comes through onto Stefan, and HP on 10 HP. He's very, very close to going down here. Really, very difficult for him to work with it, but he will get one towards the short. Chris is going to be able to spot him out. Turns the corner, 1 tap, no problem. University of Leeds take themselves to 5 points, but already Liverpool with a dominant half.
Yeah, for sure, and winning some rounds, so they really shouldn't. It might be 10-5, but you can see from the scoreboard, Leeds only able to string 2 together, no more than 1 in most situations, which is really not the ideal way to be playing. And if that's going to happen to them on their CT side, it's a lot more difficult to get your economy rolling and to keep buying up with all the utility and the AWPs and the M4s and things like that. And they won't be able to pull out, a double up setup from their back pocket if need be. So again, it's difficult to play Counter-Strike like that, but we'll see if they're able to have an effective CT side. They definitely do have a chance. It's going to be the B execute coming in. Flash over towards middle, which is certainly interesting, just to kind of play the sound cue and draw some attention over there. But I believe this should be the 2 smokes going over towards short that we see very often. Actually going to be 1 towards bench.
Oh, dear.
But leaving Jack open, he will find 1.
Yeah, they're just going to roll straight on through. They've taken the site now already. Shubler pushing over to the kitchens. Will be playing up close. They've heard him, but they won't have long to say about it. White able to get the trade. Stefan playing up by the truck, but White's just on a tear. He's starting to open up the site, already taking 2 heads. Stefan and Scoggins, 2 very strong players for the side of Liverpool, looking to go for the hold. White looking to turn the corner for the headshot. The diffused Noid baits him out, makes him pre-aim, and he's not on the line. Scoggins, though, still from apartments, able to land the headshot onto White. There goes the diffuse, but he's sticking to it. Jumps around the corner, spots him out, knows that he's not going just yet. Will push around underneath, and he lands the shot. But how much time does he have left? He's not going to be able to get the diffuse, and Liverpool will take the round.
And that's exactly what you'd expect from the Liverpool rush there. They find the shots, and in the end, really well played on the bomb. No kit for that CT side really costs them. Buying up that Molotov as well was pretty much useless because I think it got doused by the smoke in the end there. So winning that pistol makes it 11-5, of course, getting into round number 17. Going to be difficult for Uni of Leeds here. Like I mentioned, that CT economy is so hard to get rolling, and if they're going to be losing rounds decisively now, as you would expect, it'll very quickly become a 13-5 scoreline. They'll have a weaker, especially with forcing here, they'll have a weaker gun round by coming out and have their backs firmly against the wall for pretty much this entire second half. HB, his aggression has not let up at all as he finds 2 now over towards B, making it pretty easy pickings if they can find this final player in Riggers, and they will. He was already previously tagged up. So quickly into a 5-on-2. Scoggins has got the A-bomb site held down as well. A beautiful double spray down to find Chris and Mosh Scrooter. And that'll be 12-5, not losing a single player there. That, John, is certainly how you do the old
Certainly is.
the old eco
Certainly.
situation.
Absolutely. It seemed like Liverpool had bought tickets to the shooting gallery. I mean, you know, 3 goes for a quid, 3 goes for a quid, and it seems like they all invested pretty heavily on that. And University of Leeds just tumbled straight away. The targets fall pretty sharpish. So 12 rounds on the board. They have a massive advantage moving in here. They're going to be looking to close it out. You imagine the 13-5 scoreline here, and then moving from there, it Leeds need to take the round, otherwise they lose the game. Pretty much. It's a really tricky situation for Leeds to be in terms of morale, mostly, because whilst it's possible to get these rounds, whilst you can win them, we saw the stack work out for Liverpool. It's just so difficult to get everyone behind the call, to get everyone to work on the same page when you've been taking such a hiding. Yeah,
for sure. The comms, the morale, like you say, going to be in absolute tatters at this point, and it's kind of that mental fortitude, I think, that a lot of players at this particular level, not only of Counter-Strike, but also the NUEL, right? These are 2 teams relatively unknown to you and I, whereas teams like Lancaster and Warwick that we've been casting over the past few weeks have that experience of being in these tough situations and able to mount a bit of a comeback here. So again, another clean anti-eco round, rather, coming in from the Liverpool side. A lot of damage being done, but no conversions into kills as of yet. Chris has still got that Zeus in hand.
Yeah. I'm thinking he might be going for a sneaky little play here. Doesn't have the diffuse kit, though, and everyone's taking a long angle against him. So he won't be too long for this world. He's going to go for the push. I mean, it's $200. Why on earth would you not try and sacrifice it? 15 HP. We'll just see him save the Zeus. In fact, no, we won't. Because he is going to go down. So 13 rounds on the board for Liverpool. They're really looking strong here. Leeds looking to potentially buy up into this round. There go the rifles. No AWPs, though. They won't be able to play that in mid. And again, I'm looking at HP and thinking he should just be going straight on into mid and going for the domination. They set up their smokes. They got their utility down. Taking control of the middle of the map on Mirage. So important. And it seems like they're doing it to great effect as well. Liverpool able to just get their foot in and launch themselves forward to wherever they decide to go.
Yeah, so quickly the Molotovs going down towards Connector. Not the ideal Molotov. There's a lineup that you can pull out that kind of smokes the Molotovs the ledge where AWPers generally like to run in, but having it there will definitely thwart any kind of push coming in. Beautiful flash in towards window. Actually blinds up Nightmare, but I don't think Moss Scrooter has any idea about this at the moment. And the nade's going to go in to soften him up as well, and you would have thought it would be a kill going the way of, I believe, the auto director of Nightmare.
That's all right.
Chris has already picked up one, of course.
Yeah,
this is a standoff right now in window.
Yeah, they need to be executing on this pincer, but already they've taken down the player in the window room. The bomb rotating towards B site as HB opens it up. Liverpool start to gain their foothold back. Yet again, a lot of damage done to Leeds as well. So they will be a little bit unhappy about that. But 2 players left standing for Liverpool. That's plenty. That's all they need. 5 HP is all you need to get the bomb down. But it isn't going to be enough to hold it, unfortunately, as Liverpool take the fall and Leeds will gain around into this second half. The first one that they've been able to claim on their CT side.
Good to win the rifle round. They survived with 3 players as well. Again, you know, the importance of the economy. You've got to keep reiterating how very important it is because it's a large part of CS. Although saying that, winning those conversion rounds on the Liverpool side so decisively is going to allow them to pull out another full buy here. So it's going to be difficult. I think that round is definitely a must-win for Uni of Leeds, but this one, in a sense, is even more important. They get themselves reset here. They're just going to be force buying and hoping for some kind of a miracle to get back into things. And again, firmly have themselves backed up against the wall, 14-6, possibly on the horizon. But it would be nice to see a 13-7 for the Uni of Leeds. There's no AWP as of yet in any of these 10 players. Nightmare getting aggressive over towards B, only trading 1 for 1, but that definitely works out in favor of the T side. And you can see kind of the nervous disposition of this CT side on that minimap as they immediately go for the rotate, but it is in fact a fake. Out through the smoke, finds HB, but it's going to be all down to him and Chris going down immediately. A double spray coming in from White, though, going to leave Stefan in the 1 versus 3 situation, as now he gets traded back 1 versus 2. There's no utility for Stefan. He also does not yet have the bomb, as it was actually left behind on ramp, which is a little bit risky from that T side. Makes it a hell of a lot more difficult in this 2 versus 1 situation. Flash and a smoke for the CT side, but peeking like that, Rigger's going to go down. It will cost his team, and now it's in the 1-on-1. Mosh Scruter has got to find this to keep his team in it. Got the kit in hand and got the smoke, so he can definitely let this bomb go down if he wants, but in the ideal situation, he will connect the bullet with the head of Stefan, who has actually made his way back towards ramp. I don't think he'd have time to go B in this situation unless he absolutely just kind of booked it, which is very, very risky indeed. Not ready for Mosh Scruter to be there, but he connects the spray and finds the 4K, the 1 versus 3 clutch in the end. 14-6. And I think that might just be the game breaker for Uni of Leeds.
We saw him do it with a pistol. Now we've seen him do it with a rifle. Is there anything that this man can't do? 23 kills on the board. HB actually topping him out on the 24 mark. The question is, are they going to be able to drop the 30 before the game ends? At this stage, it's not looking too likely. Only one of them would be able to do so, and only 5 kills going through. If they win this round, they're going to be looking to roll it on through. Nightmare and HB just completely devastating both White and Jack as they turn the corner, get the frags on through. And now they're just looking to roll it down. So Uni of Leeds really not offering any resistance in this round. 2 players left alive, 2 Deagles. No utility whatsoever. They're getting pincered on. They're getting shut down. The reload comes through, and Shubler has his crosshairs ready and waiting. Just Riggers now with that Deagle over towards jungle. Lands 1 shot, gets a bit of damage, gets the reload on, but won't be able to convert. So there we go. 15 rounds. Game point for Liverpool. Looking to put themselves in that winner's bracket.
Yeah, and I think they have got a very good chance of doing so. 9 rounds on match point, you know, that huge cushion. And here we have the situation for Uni of Leeds that often happens when you're trying to formulate a comeback. You can't just be winning rounds to stay in the game. You have to be winning them decisively so that your economy is strong going forwards. Ooh. Beautiful shot from White, though. This certainly helps out. One for the highlight reel for sure.
Yeah, that was pretty cheeky there. Able to turn the corner with a fast scout pick. Gives them a little bit more ground. And they're taking a lot of damage. Chris will be able to punish as well as HP over peaks from the Palace. And they've taken 2 already. I mean, you're talking about decisive wins on rounds. This is pretty decisive so far. Liverpool, though, still not out of the running. They have got Stefan, the man on fire, who is still alive. Nightmare and Scoggins to back him up. The bomb moving towards that B side of the map. You can see Nightmare just backing away down underpass. They rotate through. They're looking to go for contact over towards the B site. The bomb is picked up by Nightmare. Stefan has the AWP. They're looking to push on through. Jack playing down low underneath the balcony. The Molotov will spot him out, but the nade will spot him out harder. As Stefan lands the shot, the Deagle will ring true as well, and Jack's up close to finish it out. What a round from Leeds. They don't drop a single player. They don't get any guns, though.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because it sort of begs the question, where has that been all game? That early aggression to pick up a nice initial frag is what you would expect to see. It's what we saw on the CT side of Liverpool and what was so effective from HB with that AWP especially. And I think it's in this situation where they feel like they may have mentally checked out of the game. They feel like they can pull off the risky plays. Again, Moshkruta getting up close and aggressive. White does go down, so he's left by himself. Chris has brought in the rotates. The bomb going down just behind Moshkruta in this smoke. He is not quite sure what's going on there. Nightmare will finish him off in the end. Shubler as well finds Jack, and after quite a decisive round, it's looking a bit difficult here for Union of Leeds to get back into this one. 3 versus 2 now after Riggers finds that kill, but Scoggins and Shubler are on very low HP indeed. One bullet will finish both of them off. It's going to be on Stefan to be the first port of call to find the kills here. He finds the head of Chris, and it will all be on Riggers. No kit in hand. He's trying to go for the bomb, but now playing on the edge of the smoke. Finds 2. Got to find the one more in. Stefan, who's reloading, and he will. Gets his hands on the kit as well. Got off the bomb, but I think he must have realised, don't do that to me. Yeah. Riggers on 7 HP will find the clutch and save the AWP as well. 15-8 now, Union of Leeds. Trying to get back into it.
They're not done just yet. They are not going down without a fight. And it actually means that they bring Liverpool into a broken state. So Leeds looking to pick up the next round, maybe 2 as well, as they distribute over their guns. AK is actually being brought up by Liverpool. So this is the last round that they'll be able to fall by. If they lose this one as well, Leeds will have come out on a nice little result. But already, we're seeing Leeds not go down to a sort of 16-5 scoreline that we were looking at the half. It seems like they're going to be able to close out this round as well with a lovely spray from Riggers. A lot of damage going over onto Scoggins. White able to take down Stefan on the push. Finds a nice flick as well. And that's going to be 1 player left standing for Liverpool as they start to push in, or they try to push in to the B-bomb site. And already a lot of damage going over, and Jack turns the corner for a lovely little spray around the corner. The broken wall won't offer much cover, and Leeds will get the 9th round.
A great angle, actually, that one, I have to say, to cage people in and secure the round out there. And it's interesting at this point, though, John. I think if they'd have started on the CT side, it could have been very, very different indeed for Union of Leeds. They seem a hell of a lot more coordinated, and the difference in the first half was that they couldn't play those post-plant positions, but they seem to be able to play retakes very well indeed. Although a few individual plays definitely helping them out for sure. They just seem a little bit more coordinated with their rotates and their timings in terms of pushing into the bomb site to clear out the angles and whatnot. Should be another surefire round here as well for Union of Leeds. White opening up only a few pistols. We talked about how important mid control is, but how important it is to have utility. And it seems Liverpool themselves are kind of falling short here by playing some players aggressively over towards mid. But it might just be a distraction. They've got 2 players over towards A, and they've only got 1 to deal with. So if they act quickly, they could get some damage done, but no bomb in hand, and Chris, of course, can handle himself with that A1S, not losing a single player, very little damage being done to the Union of Leeds side. So a good round. This is the important one here, a buy coming out from Liverpool. It will be full utility. Remains to be seen whether they get an AWP. I don't think so.
No, they can't.
They've really been going with it very often on the T side of Mirage, but still 5 AKs. All fully utilitized, I suppose, which is not a word, I don't think. But is that a window smoke?
Yes, I believe on top. Oh no, wait. One of them should be. I think they might actually just be dual smoking up close. There is the window smoke that you can throw from around there, but I think it was actually a connector smoke instead. Right. To get that position available to them. Of course, Liverpool know the value of mid. They're able to control it in the first half, and looks like they're looking to do the same here. That window smoke going to drop down now. Just allows them a little bit more ground as well. They're operating very, very fast and smooth here as he lands the headshot over the top of the box. Chris now watching through that connector, has to back away, can't take the face, will be able to spray down 1 and get away with his life. 20 HP remaining. And there's 2 players off to the side. There's a rifle as well ready. They have the AWP, they have the M4, and Chris is still on the site. He's able to get the final kill there as Shubler tries to push in through the arch, but they don't have the bomb available. They know that Chris is on the site. They know he's low, but they just don't know where. He's down to 2 HP with that nade, and he's not going to be moving for love nor money. As Liverpool do get backed off of the arch position, University of Leeds have a stranglehold on this round so far. Two players on pretty much max HP, down to 12 HP now. As Shubler pushes on through, loses a lot. He doesn't have control of the bomb. See, they are going to swap out the AWP for an M4 because they don't want to be caught with their trousers around their ankles as he turns the corner, and they might actually be caught just like that. Playing up close, this is exactly how he wants to be playing it. There goes the incendiary grenade. Backs off through the vent, but
as much utility as he possibly can over towards.
Would make sense.
It goes down.
Oh, no.
Not able to
He's
connect
going
the
for the
spray,
spray.
unfortunately. He's got the bomb. Only 10 seconds remaining at this point as well.
This is a nice rotate.
Does make his way back round. Going to be able to catch him out in just a second.
Oh.
Dink comes in through the box there, I believe, but of course that low HP of Shublet will allow Moshkru to secure the round, but a little bit too close to the wire there. I think it remains to be seen. I think quick look at the economy. It's not too bad on the CT side, but they cannot afford another round like this and be able to pull out that full buy going forward. So, and as it gets closer and closer in terms of scoreline, they really need to be getting those decisive wins.
Oof, that's a really close scoreline now. This is certainly not what I was expecting from the performance that we saw in the first half. Liverpool just had a dominating showing, but it seems like Leeds are really quite strong on their CT side so far, and it looks like they're going to try and bring the double AWP setup. Both White and Moze Schroeter will... Or Mose Schroeter? Is it Mose? Is it Mose? Is it Moze?
I think that's what
Mose?
he's trying to get at. Yeah,
Mose
I noticed that
Schroet.
in the chat as well.
Mose Schroet. Mose Schroeter. Either way, he's going to be carrying a big green gun into this round. University of Leeds still on last chance saloon. They're looking to go to overtime here, but the execute comes through from Liverpool. They start to put pressure over towards the A-bomb site. It's Chris under the balcony. He'll be the first to find the kills if he gets any, that is. 1, 2, lines up a third as well. Finally shut down by HB, and the flash goes over. The retake can come through. This is brilliant start for University of Leeds. They're able to get that utility down and get the rotates down. 4 players left standing, and only HB and Nightmare for Liverpool.
It's going to be so hard with no smokes as well to get that bomb down here. A little bit of utility in the hands of Nightmare, and he's been one of the more quiet players on this Liverpool side, partly because he doesn't have to do very much, but when it comes down to these clutch situations, the confidence, the pressure could definitely get to him. So a 4 versus 2 situation, it's going to be so difficult. CT allows White not being smoked there, CT not being smoked, allows White to pick up HB as Nightmare now. I called him out for not being as effective as the rest of his teammates. We'll see if he's able to get anything done in this clutch, but gets taken down momentarily. And that will be 15-12.
We were praising HB for his aggressiveness. It was for his aggressiveness in the first half. We were saying, you know, he's doing well. He's gaining ground for his team. But in the last 6 rounds now, he's only managed to get 3 kills in that entire time. Stefan only managed to pick up 1 kill in that entire time. They're really sort of letting these plays go through them. They're not coordinating as much as they were. They're really starting to struggle, it looks like. And University of Leeds finding those openings, able to find the advantage. But it looks like White's a little bit overzealous as he drops down, trying to channel HP from the first half, but it won't go well.
Indeed, it will be HP to pick up the kill, get his hands on the AWP as well. So it probably could not have been worse for White in that situation, and that could be the game changer here. Boost coming in up towards window. Beautiful timing from Riggers to make sure that HP goes down. That's going to drop the AWP as well. The remaining T-side players trying to make their way onto this A-bomb site. Shubler going to connect with Chris's head. Nightmare as well will take down Mo Schroeter. And now it's into the 4-on-2 situation. Riggers drops that up yet again. Jack as well helping to recover. So despite the fact that they've lost so many players here in the 4 versus 2 situation, very quickly becomes a 2-on-2 due to their stronger weaponry. Now Stefan, he is a P250 master. And he will actually find Riggers. So a 1 versus 2 situation. The bullet's coming through. Stefan, though, has got to back off. He's got to get the reload in. Jack as well. Down to his P250. Will find it left on 15 HP. But again, it's so very close. Uni of Leeds winning out the clutch situations. What a game this has been so far. It comes down to these nitty-gritty, nail-biting moments.
They're just over and... They're just backwards, forwards, and this way and that. And University of Leeds just about hanging on by the skin of their teeth in every single round so far. They're getting pushed out of the sights. But as you said earlier in this game, Scriv, their retakes are very, very strong. They're able to coordinate very well on them. Just something we weren't seeing on their takes on the T side. and they're making it work as well. A lot of money now flowing through the rest of this game. Full buys, I imagine, coming out for the entirety of the remainder of this section. Everyone looking to either win it out here or go to overtime. Of course, Great Phoenix from Liverpool setting up. They've got 2 more chances to win it right here and now in regulation. The University of Leeds aren't going to let go without a fight.
3 players on the A-bomb site immediately. Chris going to pick up the first, gets a second as well, but so close allows Stefan to get the double spray down, as now it's all on White. He's smoked out, gets aggressive through the smoke to find one, bring it into a 3-on-2. They're not quite sure whether this bomb's going at the moment as well. The flank is coming in from Jack, so the T side has got to act quickly. HB also on 50 HP here. The bomb is actually going to get dropped towards Tetris, just so that Shubler can get a bit aggressive. And the flank from Jack, like I said, they're not quite fast enough to deal with that pincer. And now it's all on HB. Like you say, he's been a bit quiet this half in these past few rounds. Got the AWP in hand. If they just don't peek him and wait, play down the clock, it could very easily be another round for Leeds here.
They don't need to. They don't. Yeah, you don't. Well, you don't need to peek him here.
The nature of
you have the bomb. Yeah, you have the bomb. Like, you have control of that. They should have been able to spot that out. They'll spot him out as well, and White will land the shot with a nice little flick. Now you have Leeds in a position to actually take us to overtime on Liverpool, who, by all accounts, their economy isn't super strong. They should be able to get AKs across the board. Oh my goodness! I don't think you had voice enabled there, but White was very happy about that.
Oh, okay.
White was he was having a blast there. Jesus Christ! Okay. Oh dear. I'm glad that it's muted on stream. I'll put it like that.
Fair enough.
At least I hope it's muted on stream.
Yes, it is. It is. We made sure. Don't worry. It's just for moments like that, when you start running away with things. Especially when the teams realise that they're getting streamed here, they get a bit more bravado in them. Yeah. Sometimes.
Well, a little bit of bravado, exactly what University of Leeds need right now to hold on to this game. Of course, being a best of 1 decides who goes to the winner's bracket. They need to hold on to this round if they want a chance, but Liverpool, they have the rifles, they have the guns, they have the manpower. They need to execute perfectly. Here they go towards the B site for the game. As they push on through, they get the opening frag, and it's already starting to go their way. Jack able to trade it out, but only so long for this world as HP pushes on through. He's finally starting to turn up into this game. Stefan drops down on to the B bomb site. 3 men on the retake. University of Leeds need to stand strong here. They need to push on through. They're all coming from the market, though. They have 1 face to go for. They've already pushed out the window. They have that position. HP's playing up close. Will get shut down. And Moshroot will get traded out. But White's there as well. They are going for this push. Nightmare, 16 HP. Will get spotted out as Chris jumps over the top. Will spot out yet another on Scoggins. He gets the kill. But the defuse comes through and Leeds take us to overtime.
Oh, my. What a game. What a game. Regulation has been absolutely crazy. Hopefully, overtime can be just as exciting. I'm so glad we tuned into this one, in all honesty. But wow, what a round. Very little utility there from the CTs on the retake, so they really had to get aggressive and find those kills. And like you say, if he didn't have a kit in that situation, I think the round is lost for the University of Leeds. It will be, I believe, MR6 10k, so it's 3 rounds per half. And they get themselves that 10,000. So you have to think kind of the economy really does come into it here with that $10,000, which I think makes overtime a little bit more interesting. We seem to have shifted away from 16k. But either way, Stefan actually going to burn down White towards connector. HB as well finds Jack on shore. So some good opening picks from the T side as they trade back 1 for 1, get control of that A bomb site. No Scrooter is towards CT. The 1-taps will eventually connect from Shubler. And now Rig is in a 1 versus 3 situation. Got his kit in hand, trying to get aggressive here. Not quite able to connect any bullets on either side, but 3 versus 1, they're aware of his position. Going to be very difficult indeed for him to get anything done here. Nightmare's going to hear him dropping down and will connect the bullets to his head. So the first round of overtime goes the way of Liverpool. And finally, they seem to be able, perhaps too little too late, remains to be seen, but they do put a stop to Uni of Leeds.
Well, it looks like their CT side taking a little bit of a dip. Of course, 10k on the overtime regulations. which means this will be the last buy round that Uni of Leeds are able to cobble together if they take a dip here, which would mean that Liverpool could take the clean sweep on this overtime half. Of course, being overtime, it is first to 20 in overtime number 1. He was able to bring it on home. HB starting to play aggressive in that mid position. He's starting to turn it on. Has only just managed to drop the 30k. As we were saying earlier into the half, you know, it's him and Stefan both racing to hit that 30 before the game ends, but it seems like University of Leeds had other ideas and only just now managed to hit that mark. So Liverpool still haven't found the opening frag yet, which seems to be where they thrive. HB very close up on short, and if Jack takes the corner right now, he would... Oh, he's been hurt out with the jump. There's no way he's going to win that. HB knows exactly where he is. Jack will take a little plummet. White, I think, knows something's up as HP turns the corner. Will pay for it with his life. The bomb still in mid. They haven't opted to push straight through, but Nightmare just spots Chris as he walks around a corner completely unawares. Seems like he's not going for it, but White's not done just yet. Rings another shot through, and there's more Shroot. Able to get another one. The incendiary grenade will just block off any close pushes as he gets another kill, and Stefan now last man left standing on the A-bomb site. Riggers will start to push through, has a little bit of a gap to work with. They know he must be back towards that arch side, playing either sandwich or that Tetris position. They spotted him out now for sure, and up on high, it's Riggers to rain down, and University of Leeds bring the scoreline even.
Really all to play for at this point. Coming so close to the wire in these situations. White really saving that round for his team with a nice couple of kills with the AWP. HB, though, should not be allowed to just walk up short, get onto the B-bomb site for free. It's almost a crime that he's able to do that, and they are so lucky on the lead side that he's not able to get any more control, and that White can shut him down before he does any more damage, because it very nearly went south. And I think a little bit of what we're seeing, though, on this T side is how dangerous having, you know, those two players in Stefan and HB especially sort of put the rest of the team in the backpack. Because as soon as it's kind of the simple syndrome, right, that we see in Na'Vi, you shut down that one or two effective players, and suddenly the round's all over. A little bit of team damage coming in. I don't think White will be too sad about that, though.
Minimaps are a thing, everyone. Make sure you do pay attention when you need to. HB, though, doesn't need a minimap. All he needs is his crosshairs. He's got to land the shot onto White. Rolls it on through. And this is exactly where I was saying that Great Phoenix really start to shine, is when they get that opening pick, when they're able to find a little bit of a foothold into the round, they do turn up the heat. But it seems like they did this last round as well. They got the picks, they went on through, but then they just didn't do anything, and they waited, and they started to lose players, which is exactly what's happening again. Riggers able to push up, get the frag onto Nightmare. They're not quite able to land the nade through the window either. So they're just going to be slowed down even more, forced to look at jumping out the window. They have some really good angles here for University of Leeds. 40 seconds left on the clock with the bomb. Sat over in apartments. They're really committed at this stage to the B-bomb site push, but it looks like Uni of Leeds think they might be rotating away.
Playing patiently has certainly worked out.
Oh, no.
Split that defense. A failed Molotov, though. HB does not seem to care as he goes rushing in, as will the rest of the team. Very shortly, that bomb's going to go down, though. Rigger's going to find one, able to do a bit more damage onto Stefan. You've got Shubler as well, who's on pretty low HP. Jack won't care too much about that with the AWP in hand, but Mo Schroeter definitely will, as I don't think we're ever going to get his name correct over the course of this game, in all honesty. But either way, pushing out the window now, finds the head of Scoggins, but Stefan is there, cleans it up. 17-16 now as we finish the first half of overtime. They'll need, I believe, one more round to go to double overtime and two more for the win. Leeds, on the other hand, are kind of going to have to be a bit careful with this one.
Mosque Shoes is going to take a dive there early on, so they're going to really struggle into this one. Especially University of Leeds, their performance on the T side in the first half was really pretty shoddy. It's it was 10-5 on the half. Obviously, they were able to bring it back, but they really didn't have the coordination. They weren't able to do anything really with the middle of the map. You can see again, they're not dropping any utility. They're not putting any pressure there. And they're going to really struggle if they don't sort of pick up their feet on it. And given that Liverpool have the advantage going into this second half of overtime, I'm really not too hopeful for them. They need to pick up all two rounds, first to 19, of course, being the overtime format.
Indeed, Jack left on 50 HP here through that smoke. But I think, like you mentioned as well, you have to bear in mind it was almost an hour ago now that Uni of Leeds were playing on this T side. Jack will find HP as his infamous aggression seems to be letting him down in the latter stages of this game so far. Stefan, however, and Nightmare will hold it down. There's still Scoggins to be found towards Dark, but this T side right now are getting absolutely demolished. It's left on Jack. The bomb is down. They know where he's playing from. Molotov comes in. Ooh, left on 6 HP, but it's definitely a huge ask. 1 versus 3 clutch needs to be won, and he needs to find himself the ace as well. And they're playing a beautiful crossfire here. Again, as I mentioned, that bomb is down. So he's going to try and rotate around towards middle, but due to that lack of time, I think he's going to end up making a lot of noise here and will get at least heard out, if not spotted.
Well, the reload will do it.
Makes his way towards Connector. Nightmare going to be ready for him, and he doesn't even check the angle. An easy kill and an easy 18th. So the second overtime now has been secured for Liverpool, at the very least.
That is a good position to be in, but remember when we saw another map point for Liverpool and then Leeds pulled it out the bag at the last moment? They still have this double AWP set up that we didn't see them run in their original T side. It's going to be Molasses Schumer picking up one of those AWPs and landing a headshot onto HB as well. White will have the other one as they might look to actually fight around this mid side. HB so instrumental on that CT side before. He's already gone. They have the opening that they could be looking for here, and University of Leeds starting to bring up the pace.
Yeah, the double up setup as well from the T side, something that maybe the CTs are not expecting, but remains to be seen at this point whether it will work out. I mean, you know, you're in that situation where it is win or lose, right? So they've got to make something happen. Chris definitely trying to help out the situation as he finds Scoggins. All the smokes as well, blocking out the CTs, but on top of the toll booth, over that site smoke, Nightmare will find Riggers, and now it's into the 4-on-3 as those smokes begin to dissipate. They're going to have to find the kills here, Chris and Jack, with 2 quick kills, leaving Stefan now in the 1 versus 4 situation. They think he's playing closer towards middle, but the flash is effective nonetheless and allows Chris to pick up the final kills. So, Uni of Leeds pull out another round, and they need to get this one take us to that second overtime. Liverpool as well, the economy is not ideal, as they're going to have a few players on FAMASs, maybe even some UMPs and whatnot. So if there's any round that Leeds should take, it is definitely this one, and a really good resurgence for them on their T side.
Again, it looks like they're starting to take control of this mid lane. You can see Meringue and Strawberries actually starting to take control of that, and HB doesn't want to face him again. Doesn't have that AWP to play with. Instead, he's going to take face in Palace. It's going to work out very, very well for him as he is able to get the opening kill. Again, this could take us to overtime too. It could take us to a game win. We just don't know. It's that close. It's going to be absolutely spectacular. Liverpool really looking to finally close it on out. But it seems like have the advantage so far. But we saw them have advantages before, and that gets traded out. A lovely little headshot past the stack for Riggers. HB has claimed himself an AK-47 from the Palace pick. But Uni of Leeds have control of mid. They've got that player pushing up. They've got that presence from Riggers as they start to rotate towards the B side of the map.
No mid control coming in again from Uni of Leeds. They seem to just kind of neglect it. But like you say, possibly able to get themselves up short. Damage done over towards middle. The Dink does get traded back. But of course, that AK is so strong. Riggers as well finds Shubler with his pants down on that B bomb site with an aid in hand, I believe. So 4 versus 2 now. Of course, no save coming in from this CT side, as they'll be trying to rotate their way over, but no utility at all. They're going to have to act quickly. They're going to have to find the headshots, and I think it would be more difficult to lose than win in this situation for Uni of Leeds, especially as Mosey Man is watching that window. And now Stefan, 1 versus 4, FAMAS in hand, able to get one, but at this point I think he's just stat padding as he will walk into the crosshairs of the AWP, able to get a second,
Stefan!
But the damage being done close, but not quite enough there in the end, unfortunately. Kind of that situation, especially when you've got no utility, too many angles to be checking. So it will be a second overtime now for this University of Leeds, University of Liverpool game. I mean,
Riggers,
not
in
what
that,
we
I have to
expected.
say, Riggers in that push opened up the middle of the map. He got the pick. He turned it onto the player on short, pushed up the short and opened up the sight from the player playing underneath window. He is absolutely phenomenal in that position, and that's the strength of opening up the middle of the map. It's what we've been saying time and time again, and University of Leeds, they weren't able to do it early into their first half, and they're doing it now, and it's working absolute wonders for them. They're opening up the mid again, and look at this. They're starting to gain some traction on their T side. Finally, they pick up the pace, and finally, University of Leeds are starting to get these kills coming on through. Chris able to get the pick off onto Scoggins out of Palace. And now they are all over that A-bomb site like ants at a picnic.
It's only taken them just shy of 40 rounds to get into the groove of things, but now that they have, it's certainly looking good. And I mean, this is the situation where you go back to the CT side and look at some of those quieter players. You know, Scoggins and Nightmare, 17 and 16 respectively, is really starting to eat into the kind of win potential for this Great Phoenix Liverpool University side, because it essentially, especially on the CT side, where it's so important to have everybody firing on all cylinders, or at least putting themselves into positions to help out those carry players, it really is coming back to haunt them that Nightmare and Scoggins are having a relatively quiet game. And when you get yourself into that mental position where you just kind of like, oh, I can sit back, you know, make sure I don't miss the easy kills, but I don't necessarily have to be taking too many risks because my teammates are doing that and really popping off. And now they're in the double overtime situation, and they've got to find kind of the mojo. They've got to find the mechanical skill again that they'd sort of put on the back burner for a bit more of a support role. And it can be very difficult to find that so late into the game, especially when the pressure is as high as it is and the rounds are as close as they are.
They're putting pressure on now. University of Leeds, again, control of the middle of the map. Absolutely instrumental in these rounds that they've won on this T side. They are taking it yet again. White playing up aggressive, has that AWP available, but tell you who else is aggressive with that AWP? It's HP yet again. Channeling his old school JW genes, it seems, as he's pushing up towards that apartments. Nightmare, though, back in the push off A. Takes a lot of damage, though, in response. And HB actually doesn't manage to find the shot onto White. I thought he'd got the kill because it came up immediately on the kill feed, but it was actually White to get the pick off onto Window. As they start their execute onto way, they have lost a player already on Liverpool, but it is only 3 to take the face. They're lining up. And Moj Shroot looks like he's really struggling there, but Stefan, even on 12 HP, the man is on fire. It seems like he is on fire with the shots as well, as Scoggins comes in from the high ground as well. And University of Leeds finding it a little bit more tricky to push onto this A site than maybe they thought, but here we go. He's starting to turn it up. The AWP shots landing. Trying to push on towards the A site. Doesn't have the angles. There's a player at the back of him, HP. He doesn't have the bomb available. There's 25 seconds left on the clock. It's do or die. University of Leeds, they've got a little bit of a buffer. They want to do as much damage as possible, but Stefan won't let that happen. The AWP goes over into their hands, and Liverpool bring it even yet again. 19-19 on the scoreboard.
The long barrel of the AWP really giving that one away there in the end, unfortunately, for Moj Shroot. I think that's how you meant to say it, but who knows at this point.
Moist shoes.
Right.
No?
Fair enough. Apparently, it's from The Office, but I don't.
From The Office, from the wrong office.
Yeah. Ooh.
Is
Probably.
that? I think it is.
Because it seems like a bit of an unfunny joke.
Agreed. But I'll tell you what isn't very funny either. The fact that University of Leeds already lost 2 players into the round. Liverpool have only traded back for 1. And the mid control is only so good when you've already lost 2 players pushing on into it. You sacrifice that much and already you're really far behind. You're on the back foot. Jack, though, pushing up close. Stefan waiting in the wings. None of the players who are left alive for Liverpool are taking a point of damage. So nice situation to be held in. Jack pushing up. I think a little bit of noise was heard from mid. Stefan should be on the ball with this one. Will spot out the player. 12 HP. That's plenty. And they drop a player again. University of Leeds now looking pretty shaky here. They've won a round on their T side already. So they need to be looking to win 3 on the flip side if they don't pull this round home.
Should be relatively easy pickings 4 versus 2. As the terrorists are split as well. The bomb trying to make its way towards B. A bit of a fake, I think, coming in from White. Or at the very least to keep the players here. As it is Mosey Schroeter who's getting his way over towards B, but Shubler is playing it well, just kind of spotting it out. I think giving up at the inopportune moment, perhaps, is going to allow a little bit of aggression to come in. White as well gets a kill on the A bomb site. Going to draw the rotate. Works out perfectly on that B bomb site. Now into the 1-on-2 as White will go down, but he's going to be able to get himself into a very aggressive position. If he can find Stefan, connect the bullets with the heads of Nightmare.
Utility.
There's definitely a chance of doing it. He doesn't need it, though, as the double spray down will come in. And that's going to be the end of our first half of the second overtime. Going into that second half, a beautiful showing on that T side as well from Uni of Leeds. And it was definitely their CT side that was a hell of a lot stronger. And they just seem to want this a little bit more, I think. All the players are really, really invested in this one. Whereas on that Liverpool side, kind of, they feel like they should have won it already. And they've expended all their energy. Because this has been a very long game of Counter-Strike. Let's not beat around the bush. Very rarely do we get to these kind of situations.
Yeah, it's certainly a test of stamina at this stage for both of these teams. Liverpool and Leeds, they've been slugging it out for the best part of an hour and a half now. Looking to break that 2-hour mark on when we were supposed to start the stream. They are certainly two very patient teams, and University of Leeds now looking to take their CT side with strength. They had a strong showing. Riggers will open it up strong as well, as Nightmare is going to go down first. Liverpool already lost a player. They're stacking up towards the A site. No rotates being prompted by Leeds. The 112 smoke call comes through. The flashbangs should go over the top as the smoke execute is going to start to roll on out. But Liverpool, they're pumping the brakes here. Maybe they're going for the double fake. University of Leeds, they're not too sure what to make of this. They've already allowed HB out onto the balcony. Can't really do too much about it, but they're really very slow on this take. They've dropped the smokes. The smokes are clearing, and Moz Schrute on the site will be able to get the first pick off White as well with the second AWP. Spots the player over towards Tetris and lands the shot as well. The shot's looking over the stack of boxes, but it's only Shubler left standing for his team, and Liverpool are catastrophically dismantled on their push onto the A site.
Indeed, as I think Shadow might have died.
Shadow might have died?
Yeah,
are we still live?
I don't think
I think
so.
you know, the good thing about Shadow is that
it recovers
it's a service
very
that we're
quickly.
using. Well, it's not even that. It's that because it's a remote machine, even if your client crashes, we're still being streamed out. So
indeed,
we should still be live. I can still see it. Liverpool going for the push on towards the A site. They've already started to open it up. They did lose a player, starting to go through. HP is down, but they have got their presence. They should be able to get the bomb plant going through here. As they do take the push. A Nightmare able to get the frag off onto Chris. The rotates need to come through for University of Leeds. They're on 21 rounds. They need to claim one more to try and bring it back. But there we go. The first kill comes through. 2 versus 3 on the retake. Their retakes are strong. The bomb isn't in the hands of Liverpool. Leeds in a prime position now to take this one home. After all was said and done, it looked almost done for them. But Liverpool, they've let it slip. University of Leeds are allowed to gain a foothold, and they could be able to take it home right here, but they need to go for the retake. Both kits available. Stefan not able to land the spray towards CT. They're looking to go for coordinated retake. Scoggins playing far back towards Arch. Will have an angle on the bomb should all else fails. But Stefan's ready, and he's on the swivel. Not quite able to find the second. But here comes Riggers. Nightmare playing up close on the site on the firebox. Need to check the angle, my friend. Are you going to do so? They're not going to check. He's waiting for the push from Arch, but the push is going to come, and it's going to be Scoggins. But he's refragged by Nightmare, and finally Liverpool able to clutch out the round. But University of Leeds, they still have the advantage. They have the chance to win it right here.
Might have been an idea to save there. It was so close, and I think as well the lack of utility. If they had like one grenade, one Molotov to just flush out one position, would have been so much easier in all honesty. But the triple AWP setup coming in from Uni of Leeds, it seems pulling it out of the back pocket. They have secured themselves a triple overtime if need be. But of course, I think at this point, they'll want to close it out because it's really starting to become a strong slugfest as we get closer to playing, 2 games lengths of Counter-Strike at this point. It's really going to
Certainly
be
is.
really difficult.
Almost everybody on the Leeds team has dropped the 30 already. Just Riggers and Chris left to do so. University of Leeds, they take an early lead into the round as the op shot rings true. HB trying to refrag, but he just can't find it. Playing up close, Chris will spot it out, and that's going to be a waste of a grenade as well. There are only 3 players left standing for Liverpool, and University of Leeds have their toe in the door. They're trying to bring it on home. After a disastrous first half, they have had an absolute marathon to be in the position that they are, but it looks like they could be able to bring it home right here and now. Liverpool, they want to go for the fast place to be, but Riggers is there. He's managed to drop the 30k. Now, all players on 30 and Mo Schroot will ring through. Just Stefan stands between Leeds and victory in this first best of 1, and White will land the shot. Leeds, 22 rounds, second overtime. We're finally through the best of 1.
And what a game it was, in all honesty. It wasn't just kind of terrible CS either way. It was that very long slugfest that we talk about, very close clutch situations. And I think that was one of the first rounds we've seen for a while that had been very, very one-sided indeed. But unfortunately for Liverpool, they did have a chance to take it. Leeds with a monumentous comeback and an absolutely dominant kind of overtime showing from them. It seemed to be a game of 2 halves, at least in regulation. The CT halves were what made it for both teams. And like you say, everybody on that CT side, on that lead side, dropping a 30 bomb in the end. And unfortunate for Stefan as he gets 46 and HB as well with 36. Although it must be pointed out that he was very, very quiet on that second half for sure. The CT side AWPing was really effective from him. But it seems when you're kind of in top gear, you know, you're in your foot pedal to the metal, that kind of thing. All those cliche phrases. If you're in that situation and you're not able to kind of pull back once you start getting shut down, then it can really have a dire effect on your own personal game. And if the team is relying on you, especially because he was in that AWPing and entry fragging role, if the team's relying on you to be able to pick up kills and you just can't, and you don't know what to do about it, then obviously it's going to affect the whole team negatively as well.
Well, that is a marathon of a game over under the belt, and they're going to be pretty chuffed with that one. But it's on to the second round, and I believe we are going to be catching up with the big shuffly boys and rush mid into the next game. I have had an absolute blast. I don't know about you, but I had a great game at that time. It was really good fun to watch.
It was one of those, I thought, you know, we'll pick these guys. They don't seem to have been streamed very often. We seem to be, you know, kind of going towards the upper echelons of the NUEL, you know, because essentially we expect them to have the best games, the closest games, but man, were we in for a treat on that one. Because like I say, it was some very, very good CS indeed. Not just a long game because two teams. You know.
You say that, but in the first half, there was some pretty shoddy CS going on. I have to say.
Yeah, to be fair,
from Leeds,
I do remember the 5 USPs.
Yeah, they did lose some rounds they should have won. Definitely, they were a bit sluggish. Seemed like they just needed to pick up their feet and get it going. But in the end, they were able to do so, and it was a phenomenal comeback. And they really, really came back into it. As like they regrouped and they gathered their morale back after a 10-5 half, after being 8-1 down. That's a really, really strong showing just on their mental. So congratulations to Leeds. A really, really good game.
Yeah, cannot be reiterated enough, just to kind of repeat everything that you said. Anyway, that's going to be it for our first game. We will very, very quickly be back, hopefully with our second game, as the players will be raring to go with that one. Don't go anywhere. Get yourself a drink, a bit of fresh air. I know I'm going to need some of that after that game. And we will be joining you with mid-rush. It's
the big shuffly boys versus rush mid. That is the University of Southampton versus the University of York. So make sure you stay tuned, because it will be a very short break. All of these teams are ready and raring to go, because that was a very long game we just had.
Indeed. All right, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back very, very shortly indeed. See you soon. All right then, guys. We do not lie here at the NUEL. Said it would be a very short wait, and it is indeed, as they were pretty much just waiting on us to get finished with that game. Very intense first game of the evening, as it's taken us very late so far. So thank you for sticking with us if you've been here since the start. And I think after that one, we all needed a little bit of a break at least. But either way, the knife round has taken place. At this point, the admins are just sort of sat here waiting for us to get ready and be able to bring you the action. So I'm, of course, Scriv, again, joined by my good friend John Allen. How are you feeling after that last game?
I'm pretty, it was pretty intense, but I'm ready for some more action. I think we're going to be the Big Shuffly Boys versus Rush Mid. As I said, I can't remember who the Big Shuffly Boys are from, but I know Rush Mid's from York. It's University of Southampton for the Big Shuffly Boys.
Yes.
But it's going to be on Nuke, the changed Nuke, I believe. So outside, very much different. We'll see how it stacks up in the NUEL meta, as it were, and we'll see how these teams are going to operate around it. Obviously, a bit of a weird one, and I wasn't expecting to see Nuke. You think Mirage, you think Cash, and you think, maybe Overpass or Inferno, potentially, but Nuke is a really outside choice.
Especially in these best-of-one situations. I feel like both of these teams have to know this map. It's not a map that you can just sort of let through and hope for a bit of an upset potential, because if you don't know what you're doing, especially with these changes, that CT side is so strong. And it's one of the few maps in the game at the moment where you can say, right, you're on CT, you should be getting at least 10, 11 rounds. And it was something that was rarely picked before those changes as well. Whether these two teams have been practicing since it's been changed, pulling it out as a bit of a pocket pick for the NUEL, teams not expecting it and they hope for an easy one-sided showing. It all remains to be seen at this point, as we will find out very shortly, as it seems the pistol is about to go live.
And we are now underway. It looks like the Deagle's going to be pulled out for Iwan on Rush Mid from York. They are just getting ready to stack on up. So, with a little bit of a pause, I think maybe they wanted just to go for the reset. I don't think they actually wanted to get the Deagle through. So, they had a little bit of a false start, but here we are back on in to the game as the pistol is going to get underway. Maybe. Oh, I don't know. There we go. Okay, finally they're getting
I can't see chat, so...
Yeah, no, it's going crazy. It's going crazy.
All right, fair enough. Iwan, of course, like you say, now is on the armor, so maybe didn't realize it was live, and the Deagle buy was a bit of a misbuy. Everyone has bought up armor on both sides, no kit, no utility, so straight up rush, it would seem, on the cards for the T side, as they try and get a bit of pressure over towards Hut, of course. No window now on that other side, so the CTs can't see through from Mini. The door will get opened here. Synonym for retreat, picking up 2. Tau, though, picks up 2 quick kills with his USP, brings it into a 2-on-2 now, as the bomb is going to get planted. Suddenly, it's a 1-on-2 situation for Lee Siwi, 24. He's got Carlos on the flank here as well. He's going to hear him out and cleanly find the head. So a nice little clutch round in the end from the Big Shuffly Boys, as it will pretty much be the Tau show. Yeah,
a very strong showing from Tau in heaven. Able to push it on through, get those headshots, fall back, disciplined, allowed his team to rotate through, and Southampton able to take that first round with relative ease, although they did give away the plant, which means that York are going to be able to just full save on this round. Maybe a pistol or 2, it seems like that's what they're thinking, but they should be able to just save on this round, go into the next round, and be able to get up those full AKs. So Southampton need to be careful about what they buy here. They need to be careful about how much they invest, where they put those investments as well, and make sure that they're going to be able to use it to their advantage. Losing a player here, relatively disastrous, but it seems like they're only losing the one on the push. Sitting in for a tree, almost allowed to plant, as they do drop it down onto the A site, and the bomb gets dropped as well. Only 2 players left for Rush Mid.
Trying to do what they can, but of course, like you say, that weaker buy, you don't really expect too much from them. I think even getting 1 kill there really is a bonus onto Renewey. So the AK's coming out now for the T side. Fair amount of utility as well. The CTs, however, have still got a couple MP9s and the FAMAS, which not really ideal in this situation. They're going to have to use their utility wisely and try not to take the 1v1s, just sort of play it out so that they force the T's into the close range battles that those MP9s will definitely favour.
Well, there he goes. He's playing up close Tau with that MP9 as they set up for what looks like a slow round. Of course, Nuke doesn't have a mid, so it feels like their namesake has kind of gone to waste here. They don't have a strategy at this stage. You can't rush something that doesn't exist, I suppose. That's the way they want to go, but
Pretty deep.
they're forced to just land the headshots instead. Seems like that won't be a problem for them either. Argos Age does take an early tumble into the round.
That's going to be the FAMAS dropped as well, which in this case for the CTs, one of the superior weapons. Of course, no rafters on the outside area now. Doesn't allow the CTs to get very aggressive. Rascalot, though, I think has walked in through here, finds 2 now. And it's a 5 versus 2 situation, clearing that A bomb site pretty cleanly. The ramp as well is going to be open. So it all remains to be seen. Rascalot at the bottom of the stairs. Also, not able to get the kill. I thought he would have been able to pick it up onto Abzi May there. A little bit of a mess, as he's not quite able to connect the shots.
He just missed all of his shots onto a player point, dropping down from a ladder. Unfortunately, it wasn't the case. But BCG will just shut down Renui. Now it's just Abysmal left standing for the big shuffly boys. How's that AK? Playing towards those back stairs, but doesn't really have a hope in hell to push on through. Try and go for the defuse. Just going to be able to save up. He has quite a lot of cash stacked on top of him. So with the helmet, the defuse kit, and all of that utility, along with a rifle, means that he's a walking cash stack. You know, he's touting about 4K around. So they don't want to lose that.
Indeed, and I think as well going into this next round, take a quick look at the scoreboard. There's a chance he could drop across to someone. They could pull out a buy if they want to. On the CT side, it will definitely be a bit risky. And like I say, they're expected to get quite a few rounds on the CT side, so you don't want to be throwing away, to force buys and whatnot. But it looks like Carlos immediately buying up the M4 there. They are going to get a buyout. I think they'll be able to get 4 rifles and
they should
MP9
drop over a
across
FAMAS.
to Renui.
Oh, there we go.
Okay. Scout, not too bad. Allows you to get some pressure outside, which is pretty important for that CT side. And as you can see, Argos Age going for it. Hopefully going to connect with the heads of NUEL. Rascalot goes down. And it'll be very quickly into the 5 versus 4.
They're able to find the opening, which is exactly what they need. That pressure from the scout, as you said, on the outside, pays off beautifully for them. So York now need to regroup and rethink exactly what they're going to be doing. They're lining up smokes for outside, maybe looking to push on towards anybody who's rotating in to fill in that gap. Well, there we go. A lovely one tap from Iwan onto Tau, opens up the ramps as well. So now York have a weird situation. They're dropping that utility outside, but they have the opening towards ramps. Argos Age is forced to back off there. The nade won't find too much damage. And now York have this weird sort of dichotomy of a map where 2 players on one side, 2 players on the other. They're rotating through, and it looks like they're going to split on ramps to B.
Cleverly done with the smokes, though, because they could very well have pushed through those smokes, tried to go towards Mini. However, they're, like you say, going to go towards B. Carlos gets 1, but immediately traded back. The bomb going to get planted out in the open. So it should be an easy post-plant situation. And the... I was going to say the scout, but Argos has traded it back. So into the 3-on-3 now. There's only Abzime with the kit here. BCG finds that kit as well and spots out a second player. So it's all on BCG to find everything. Iwan as well eventually finishes off Argos Age, remaining with 3 players alive on that T side. Looking good so far as they're able to reset that big shuffly boys economy as well.
A couple of players on the York team have been around for a while. I know Synonym for a Tree's been around for yonks in the NUEL. Really bringing that experience, it seems, through all the iterations of Nuke. They have sort of gone back to that original stance of not having that path outside to allow the passage through all the way on that heaven, but they're going back to basics instead. And back to basics they'll go as they do just push out of the A site. They will be able to get a trade. Renui able to land the P250 shots, but it seems like they're just getting shut down left and right. BCG finds the spray, but again, it's Renui with that P250. Isn't a big fan of anime, it seems, but he's a big fan of landing the shots.
I had noticed that as well. But,
never allowed that. Oh well, it's not our choice.
I suppose, yeah, it's over our heads at this point. But getting his hands on the AK, gonna look to save that one. I think the 1 versus 3 on 39 HP, no armor, no kit. Bit of a huge ask, and the one-tap potential on that CT side of the AK is always huge to be able to have that. So yeah, he's going to back off towards T-spawn, try and save this AK going into the next round. And as well, the economy of the CT side, again, they could pull out a buy, but it would be a little bit of a weaker one compared to that T side. Very dangerous on Nuke if you allow them to get their economy rolling, because they can really mix up how they play in terms of aggression, whether they go for some outside executes as we've seen previously, or they just go straight up through Squeaky Door, maybe down vents or into the A bomb site. There's a lot that you can do to catch off or to outthink your opponents. You know, it really does depend. And if you've got all the money available to you, it's going to make those decisions a hell of a lot easier.
Stacking up. Let's see what they opt to go for on the economy front for the big shuffly boys. They are going to go for the full rifles. A lack of utility, a lack of helmets. The helmet's not too devastating, but only 4 smokes being brought up, a smattering of flashes. Not fully equipped CTs there. So York have a little bit of an advantage. They're trying to take an aggressive stance towards ramps, trying to gain that ground and make sure that they can just launch themselves wherever they see fit. Rasclot holding close outside. They have quite this early forward stance to York, and they sort of fall back progressively when they don't find those early opening picks, and they go back to this default play style. So they're not really being over aggressive. They're making sure they get the ground, but it's not at a cost too much to their team. So a nice set of holds coming out from York so far.
It seems they know the weaknesses of T-side Nuke, and they're making sure to make them as less as possible. Carlos lucky to get away with his life there, but BCG has opened up the door, at least from the middle of, and he will take down Carlos in the end. So 5 versus 4 in favor of that T side now, and again, they've got this man advantage. They've got all the utility, whereas the CT side are lacking in certain areas, and they're going to have to maybe get a bit aggressive or catch someone off guard to try and even up that man advantage. And that is a good opportunity. Absi may capitalize as well. Aware of BCG over towards Squeaky Door as well. We'll get the spray down to bring it into a 4 versus 3. Liwi does get aggressive, but kills have been coming in for the CT side here.
Ooh.
Final bullets will land in the head of Renewit, and now into the one-on-one as Lee Siwi 24 is on 50 HP. He's got the bomb in hand.
He's normally called LSW 24, so it's just
I think so,
changed his name there to give us the run around, and the capitalization on Abysmal's just throwing a spanner in the works as well. It's all going really very interesting with the names this round, but into Toxic he goes.
He's done me there.
Yeah, he's done you there, certainly. Question is, has he done Tau? Pushing down. I don't think he's expecting someone to be playing this passive in Toxic, especially with the amount of time he had left. With the plant position, you're going to be looking at ramps to think exactly where he's going to be coming from. You can see he's already trained on that. That's where he thinks he's coming from. LSW opens the doors, gives the game away, though. And it's not going to be enough time, though, as Tau just takes to his feet and just runs on out of there. No time left to save the bomb.
These rifle rounds going decisively the way of the T side, it has to be said. That one coming a little bit closer down to the wire, but look at the money so early on in the game, and they've got 2 or 3 players around that 10k mark. Really does bode well going into the kind of the latter stages.
And on the T side,
yeah, it's really not looking too good for Southampton.
They're really struggling around here. You expect to see more rounds being picked up, especially at this stage in the game, at the winners bracket. These are the top 8 teams in the NUEL, and they're playing CT side on Nuke, and it's just not going their way. And again, a very fast push coming out. Rasclot able to lead the charge. LSW into Mini, able to get the frag out as well onto A site. And now 2 players left standing. Carlos, though, he's got a deagle. He's got some flames painted on the side. Of course, that makes the bullets go faster, straight between the eyes of Iwan. But BCG will shut him down.
Yeah, scientific fact. Skins equal wins. That's
absolutely
that's how CS works. But
that is true.
Yeah, difficult in this situation though for York, because they are doing so very well on this T side, but they kind of have to keep it up, because as soon as they lose their footing, the big shuffly boys can quite easily get back into things on that CT side of Nuke. if they are not careful. So they really need to keep this pressure on and make sure that it keeps on working. We saw in the last game how HB was shut out, and that had a detrimental effect for his team. If someone like Rasclart or BCG is shut down here on the T side of York, then it could have a detrimental effect for the rest of this half. But at the moment, it looks good. I think even if they lose this round here and the double spray to Carlos is going to be putting a bit of a spanner in the works. LSW and Iwan are able to trade 2 back. So it brings it into a 3-on-3, opens up that B bomb site as well as they get themselves down ramp, looking to get the bomb plant in. Renewey up close and personal, going to find Iwan a little bit caught out there. I think he'd pulled out a smoke a bit preemptively, leaves it in a 3-on-2.
A little bit wonky, but they are going to get the plant nonetheless. Tau could be the one to shut it down. The plant goes through, but a shot in the back is good enough for the big shuffly boys, and they're going to be able to put the round number 3 on the board. Finally, after what is quite a long time, after having not won a round for 5 rounds on the trot. So York really having a strong showing so far. They need to win 1, maybe 2 rounds in this half, and they are absolutely sitting pretty.
Yeah, very true. I mean, at this point, it looks good. This is sort of the conventional area you want them to be at. And they've got money to lose this round and possibly another one after this. Again, on that T side, having a strong economy really bodes well going into future rounds. And they can maybe take a few more risks than they would not otherwise. But it does depend. But you can kind of see here from Iwan, he's lined up this flashbang a few times. He seems prepared for the new iteration of Nuke again. They changed those skylights, so they're a slightly different shape. But he seems to have a nice little flashbang lined up. Carlos, however, will put a stop to things as the kill's coming in for the CT side. Carlos with another double spray down leaves Iwan in the 1 versus 5 situation. He's got an AK and a Dream. The bomb is down as well. The CTs firmly have control of this round.
He's got an AK though, and he's landing the headshots. Able to find one onto Renui. Doesn't have the bomb. It is dropped down the vents, I believe. It is low on down. Maybe actually no wait. It's just outside the vent. Have to double check on that, but he is up in the hut. No window to contend with now from the changer, so he only has 1 front to worry about. Here's the squeaky door open. Spots a player heaven, but Abysmal is in the wings. It's going to be a 4-player hold for big shuffly boys. The 4th round comes through, and a nice hold. Probably the first good showing we've seen from them on their CT side.
Yeah, indeed. Kind of locking the T's out there. It doesn't come down to a post-plant situation. They just find the early kills. But again, a lot of that comes off the back of Carlos. You can't take away from him. But if you're relying on those individuals to make, the risky play, the big play to win the round, then it can be difficult going into the future to rely on that heavily. It seems York as well going back to their Old Faithful. They pull out the couple smokes over towards... I quite like these smokes as well. It allows them to get down secret, but they also get a hell of a lot more control openly in the outside area. So they can do a little bit more with it, try and catch some people off guard, getting aggressive. As it happens, they are going to push down towards secret, but again, they can pull this out of the back pocket, and big shuffly boys are yet to react.
Trying to push across, but nobody is giving an inch. Nobody wants to open themselves up, but finally, they make a decision. They're going to push into ramps. Sin and Infantry will lead the charge. He's going to see Argos Arga falling away down the ramps. There's a player over in hell, but he's been backed off by the fire. Playing on 24 HP. That was Tau. Getting dropped relatively low. BCG will cover the back. The bomb is on site, but Sin and Infantry jumps up, spins left, flicks to the head, and lands the shot. And the rest of his team chime on in as well, as York just overwhelm that B-bomb site with a lovely push through the ramps. Able to just claim everything they want. Now it's just Abysmal left. Playing towards the back of site. We'll find 1 frag behind the boxes, but Rasclart is through the door. And it is going to be yet another round coming out from York. 6 rounds on their T side so far. They're looking to take a dominant game.
Money's good as well, whereas on the CT side, going to be difficult for them. Renewey already sacrificing the M4 to get a bit more utility. No one as of yet to pick up a kit. No one actually ending up with the kit there in the end on the Southampton side. So going to be difficult. It could be an economy reset coming in here if the T's are able to work it out. They lose a couple rounds trying to push A, but then they just go back to Old Faithful, like I said, going outside. And that seems to be a massive hole in the defense is the retake situation for the big shuffly boys. If they can get the initial frags, they do well not to overpeak, you know, and lose the man advantage. But if they lose those initial fights, then they end up losing the round because they're just not able to win the post plants in the retakes. Aggression coming in from Carlos as he's trying to kind of put the team in the backpack, it would seem, with these risky plays, but Iwan shuts it down pretty easily.
Yeah, not really too much to gain from pushing out there. You might get a frag, but you get traded away. You leave so much open for the rest of your team. It seems like they haven't quite fully practiced those flashbangs as Iwan's just sails and smacks bang into a wall. And instead of going through the skylight, just forces them to instead go for this ramps push. But Argos has the M4. He's going to be able to fade away this time and get away with his life. The ramp push coming through. York again executing towards that position. Thinks better of the smoke, but Rasclart is leading the charge. Abysmal will find up the side, but the headshot comes through. A little dink of damage from behind. And that leaves Argos Age alone on the site. Will get flamed out. Trades 1 for 1. Now 2 players left standing for Southampton. Finds the headshot for Tau, but he pulls out the knife, and Iwan will capitalize. The trade goes through, and York now have 1 player to contend with. That's Renwee. Playing at the back of sight, and he's just going to get shut down relatively quickly there. Iwan will be the one to do so. And 7 rounds on the board. This is a great T side so far for York.
Yeah, they just seem to have that coordination again. You know, like I said earlier, Carlos making those individual plays in the couple rounds, the couple rifle rounds that they won, is not reliable. And as you can see here, you know, York have said, right, they've got this one player who is playing out of his mind at the moment, at least in these couple rounds. Just don't give him the fights. Just wait patiently and play in the conventional 5 versus 5 setup, and we will easily win. So they just gathered their bearings here in the past couple rounds and seem to have taken it indeed. However, Abysmal does get his hands on an AK, and a lot of damage has been done onto LSW as well. So there is a chance to take away a few rifles, but you would expect, you know, the fully bought up T's to take this one, especially as they've got control of the A bomb site now. But on top of Hook, Carlos able to find one. Not able to reload fast enough, though, and BCG will take him down. Abysmal, I think, hightailing it out of here right now as he wants to save that AK. Argos Age getting melted down. Iwan will finish him off. And that's going to be an 8th round on the board and a really stellar T-half from York so far.
And then, I mean, yeah, and then we're going to be into the round where they need to win the rifle round. And even then, it's a coin toss because York have been winning these rounds. You're looking at this and thinking York could go double digits here on T-side nuke, which is absolutely crazy. A very strong showing from them so far in the top 8 section of the NUEL. Of course, this is the winners bracket of the double elimination stage of this tournament. It's absolutely insane to see a team go so strong on such a disadvantaged map by all accounts.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think Big Shuffly boys just don't look prepared on their CT side. You know, they don't have any crossfires set up early on in the round. They don't have any good, like, kind of bait setups. There's no one definitively taking the charge on those retakes. Everyone's a little bit more hesitant, trying to, you know, bait each other out. And it's really not a great way to play once that bomb goes down. Whereas on the T side, they're all playing off of each other. There's defined, you know, entry fraggers, clutch men, that kind of thing. You know, and they just seem a hell of a lot more comfortable on that T side. Like I said, there's a lot of room for error, as they do actually allow Tau to get pushed up, not expecting him to come through secret as they pull out their infamous outside execute. BCG, however, will trade it back. Not quite sure what that was to try and shut the door, though. Abysmal bringing it back into a 4-on-3. 2 kills coming in from Carlos as well over towards ramp. Gonna drop the bomb, and we were just calling them out a little bit, talking a little bit of smack about the Big Shuffly boys, but they've definitely come alive in this round.
Yeah, it's been strong here, but we've seen this before. They had a good round earlier on their first, I think it was round number 6 or round number 7, where they were able to take a round back, but then they pretty much crumbled again after it. And I mean, one round, certainly not the sort of situation where you want to be trading it back. A headshot from LSW, but that's going to be it, as they are just going to be back into the fray once more. I'm looking at York and thinking they're just going to go back to basics. They're going to take the outside. They're going to check secret this time and allow Rasclart to run wild, as he has been doing so frequently in that position. Iwan's been so good at getting that backup plane towards ramps and around pretty much anywhere they need him as well. It's just been great to see them have this sort of performance, and I think they're just going to go back to it. You can see the triple stack up outside. They have that AWP in hand. This is in the hands of Iwan, who is their top fragger currently, sat on 12 kills. But yeah, I just can't see York losing this. I can't see them losing the half. I can't see them losing the map. They might lose the round, but that might be it.
Well, mathematically impossible for them to lose the half here, in all fairness. Tau going to find Rascart, so it definitely does bode well to at least try and even up that scoreline somewhat to bring it to an 8-7. LSW spots out one, aware of a player playing from behind him. Carlos, however, was waiting on that flank, and now Tau going to shut down LSW for the refrag. So a 5-on-2 situation. Zywan does still have that AWP in hand, but Renui puts a spanner into my mouth, for sure, as he picks up that kill, and Abysmal finds the final kill. So a pretty clean round there in the end, and it bodes well to try and get 7 here on the board. And a good recovery, we would say, if it were a Mirage, even an overpass, that kind of situation, we would say a really good recovery from them. But it really is going to be difficult for them going into that T side. They are going to have to keep the pressure on in the same way that York have, in order to cleanly win this one out.
Carlos has been very strong on these holds of late in these last couple of rounds, but as they push on through, they're going to spot him out, and they're not even going to lose a player for it. BCG only taken down to 46. This is a fast execute on towards the B bomb site. They have got a player rotating in. They've got Renui along the side, but they've already taken control of all the key angles so far. There goes the door. He will turn the corner, but he doesn't even spot out the bomb, as it is being sat in the smoke. It does get planted on through, and they get the kill so far. 3 versus 5 on the retake. They're sneaking out along. They will spot out Iwan playing on those boxes. Abysmal gets the frag. He drops down onto site, and there's a duel going over on ramps as well. LSW just fighting it out, trying to keep control of the position. Cinder Infantry, though, is on the back of site, and he's pushed through the smoke. Gets shut down by Argos, but there's BCG, and 9 rounds on the T half go to York.
Really good showing. I think it can't be reiterated enough. And the fact that they're able, as soon as they get rifles out, they string 5 rounds together. Whereas the CT side a little bit more loosely winning rounds, and not able to keep it going and get their economy rolling, which is so important on all maps in CS on that CT side. But, on Nuke, even more important here. And I think it goes without saying, they need to take this pistol because it's going to be a very, very difficult hill to climb on that T side. And there's a chance, however, I think Carlos, one of the bigger names for the big shuffly boys. So if he can come alive here, definitely a chance for Southampton to take it.
Pistol round going in now as big shuffly boys take ramps by force. They aren't slowing down for anyone. Cinder Infantry puts up a bit of a defense, but it's only going to last so long. They're playing up close. They're playing with those Glocks. The bomb already starting to get planted. They need to check the vent, though, as they've allowed 2 players to peek on out. Plant goes through, and LSW's in the wings. Opens the door, finds the head, closes the door. And Carlos will trade it back out, and there we go. Abysmal starts to close it down. Rascot playing from the ramps. Has got the range advantage now, has the USP, has the defuse kit as well. He's got a smoke to boot. He is in exactly the situation, the best situation possible for a 2v1, certainly. Playing against both Abysmal and Argos Age. Has a little bit more time to play with. Looking to drop down, drops the smoke down, looks to go for the defuse. Is he going to try and stick it? But the shot from Abysmal will land on the head, and that's going to be the end of the round as the big shuffly boy is able to claim the first with a fast push to ramp.
For a second there, Abysmal looked like he wasn't quite lining that one up, but
yeah,
just find it in the end, luckily. Again, being one of the louder names on this Southampton side as well, in all fairness. A couple AKs, the UMP, Mac-10, Galil, generally what you would expect. Those SMGs will lead the way to clear out all the close range angles. You've got Rascot with a UMP in hand, so definitely a chance to do some damage, to build up some bank for his team. But again, you would expect this one to go the way of big shuffly boys. Superior weaponry, fully bought up in terms of utility on a few of their players, does bode well. Spotting out some players in towards Mini. Carlos, of course, seems to be happy on his own here to just try and, force the issue, which it worked out quite a few times on that CT side. Getting aggressive in Hut, however. BCG will find Renui, and he's going to be able to trade that across to Rasclat. So Rasclat's now got his hands on an AK, and BCG still got that formidable UMP. Carlos, however, like I mentioned, on this flank, going to be able to find one onto Synonym for a tree and even it back up.
They haven't played too close so far. The push out goes on to Rasclart. That AK taken down. BCG soon to follow. So no UMP, no rifles whatsoever. It's now just LSW and I1. They weren't expecting to win this round anyway, but they wanted to be getting more frags than this. The UMP picked up by LSW as they do start to push it on down. He is just behind the door, waiting in the wings. As soon as that bomb plant sound comes through, they're going to open the door, and Tau will be the one to actually pull the trigger on that as the headshot comes through with the MAC-10 playing up close. It's very difficult to cope with the rate of fire that thing can just pump out, and he is going to go down. The P250 shots landing onto the pillar and finally going through, landing on the head of Abysmal, but it's too little too late as Big Shuffly Boys put that 8 on the board with a nice string of victories so far on the first 2 of their T-side half.
Still want to keep that pressure on for sure, you know, on the economy, so they maybe only pick up 2 kills in that situation, but from what they'd invested in the round, not all bad. And like I say, they want to make sure there's 1 or 2 players at least on that T side buying up every round in these conversion round situations. Flashes and the rush coming in towards outside. It would be pretty much all 10 players here as
There we go.
Argos Age and Abysmal clean up in a matter of seconds. As that will be the 9th on the board as we very quickly here get into our first gun round. Orc coming out from I1 remains to be seen. I mean, he's been an effective AWPer in the past, for sure. But like I say, here on Nuke, I think the AWP is actually really, really important, and it's something that the Big Shuffly Boys were missing from their CT side. They very rarely had someone pull out an AWP.
They had a couple of shots go through, but a fast play to the outside will get shut down by that AWP position. They didn't smoke it off. They didn't go for the coordinated peek. A shoulder is shown, and that's all that matters. Argos Age goes down. He's winged. Takes the full amount of damage. So already a bad start. They only have those MAC-10s on Renwi and Tau. And one of them's going to drop already. A synonym for a tree will drop down back towards the ramp, playing disciplined, having his teammate rotate in. They have got the crossfire set up. Rasclart will be pushing on through. As Renwi pushes on down. Synonym for a tree all the way down on site now. They're going to be pushed by that MAC-10, and at range, Renwi closes it out on 2 HP. They should be able to get the plant here, but how long is it going to last? Through the fire comes BCG. Will get traded out, but he does stop the plant. Rasclart's in the back, and the stab comes out. There we go. The CT round going over, finally, to University of York.
I think this, again, comes down to York just seem a little bit more prepared in terms of the little nuances of Nuke. You know, Southampton are definitely comfortable on it, don't get me wrong, but we saw on that T side they had that execute they could go to when they needed to, you know, when they'd started losing a few rounds to be like, right, let's just go back to what we know, make that work. And then there you see on the CT side from a few players, I1 outside, synonym for a tree initially on ramp. They have sort of the off angles that they're not really going to be expecting on that T side as they come around the corner to just sort of get headshot and not really be sure where the bullets are coming from. So it just looks like in terms of the little things, York are a hell of a lot more prepared.
They're ready for anything that the Big Shuffly Boys could dish out, it seems. They are stacking up. They're playing this one a little bit slower than they have done in the past. There goes the smoke to try and block off BCG's position. We'll do just that, but the incendiary grenade and the flashbang comes through. BCG plays it perfectly. Round the side of the smoke, he gets the pick. Iwan's there, ready to receive any further pushes. There goes the flash. He will just tuck on in. Once they clear the angle, they might get caught a little bit unawares, but they do spot him out. They still have a player over to the side to contend with, and BCG will be able to get the spray down with a Fammer. Spots one more, turns the corner, and without so much as a lick, takes him down, but Tau's there to retrade the kill. Now, 2 players left alive for the Big Shuffly Boys, able to pick off Rasclart, and actually I went down on 8 HP, so they have a little bit of a shout in here, but they're playing it a little bit slow. They don't have much time left on the clock to play with, only 35 seconds.
Looking to find a bomb site that is open. Iwan is on 8 HP here, so it could very quickly turn into a 2-on-2. Because it looks like they're going to make their way out through Mini, I believe. The auto director not really showing us too much of action. And down the ramp, but down the vents rather, but synonym for a tree is there, ready and waiting. So it will be 11-9, and that economy of the T side now is looking a little bit
bad.
Questionable. I think they can afford one more loss here.
Yeah.
And the rate that it's been going, York have been very, very decisive in these gun rounds.
It's very sticky here for Big Shuffly Boys from Southampton. They're buying up the MAC-10 on Renwi. I'm starting to go very French with this pronunciation, I think. Renouille? Renouille? I'm going to go Renouille. I think it sounds better.
Renouille sounds very classic.
It's very distinguished, isn't it? It's quite a... my name is Renouille. Maybe not for the UK, but yeah, it's quite a nice little diphthong coming out there.
Indeed.
Yeah. Two vowels together is a diphthong.
Yes. I think the chat might have a bit of a different idea, perhaps. Yeah. But Tao gets that initial kill outside, so it does bode well going into the rest of this round now. If they're able to play the man advantage well on the big shuffly boys side, there's no one directly on ramp, but there is Synonym for a tree boosted up. He's able to get one as yet. Traded finds the head of the jumping Carlos. Tao will trade him back to get him a second for the round. Brings it into a 3-on-3 now as the bomb is looking to make its way down ramp. And I think they will be able to at least get the bomb down. Oh, I say that, but it's left in T-spawn lobby, perhaps? I'm not quite sure, but Argos Age had to go back to get that one. Allows the rotates to come in. LSW finds Abysmal. Tao, though, with this AWP is going absolutely huge to bring it into a 2-on-2. Spray coming through the smoke. Argos Age not able to get the bomb down as BCG will drop that bomb, and now it's going to be Tao. He's done everything for his team so far. He's got it all to do. He has to go the full 9 yards to find the final 2 kills, and the CT's playing this so well to just go in together, make sure that they can get the trade if one of them goes down.
12 seconds left on the clock. He needs to make his play now. Go for the save or go for the push. That's what you need to do, but instead, just going to play weirdly and actually go onto the site after time, peek out and try and risk his life. I do not agree with how he played that. I mean, he was going for the AWP, sure, but
I think
it just felt weird to me.
He had the AWP, traded it out for the M4, and I think he was hoping to find someone a little bit caught out, shoot him in the side, shoot him in the back, and isolate the 1v1s, which is difficult when you have no information at all and also no utility. He was pretty much just playing off of what he was seeing. And like you say, not very much time left on the clock means that it's a pretty easy win in the end there for York to make it 12-9. And like I said, that economy now of the T side not doing so well. Tao, however, will open up for his team, drops the enemy AWP. But unfortunately, no one on that T side is going to be able to recover that gun. So it is a 5 versus 4, but they still have this weaker weaponry up against the fully bought CTs. Does not look so good. Synonym for a tree has that double AWP, now drops the AWP on the T side as he's taken down Carlos with it. And this should be the crumble here from the big shuffly boys to allow York to easily pick this one up 4 versus 2.
The AWP over now into the hands of Abysmal. Synonym for a tree has that AWP as well. They should just be able to hold here, as you say, Scriv. Argos Age looking to find something out of Hut and scanning those rafters very carefully. They don't have any utility to work with. He's only got the armor, and he lands the headshot onto Rasclart. It's actually pretty big, given that that's the Overwatch on site. BCG playing up close near Squeaky. Abysmal looking to try and just pick anyone they can find. They've got 40 seconds. They do need to make a decision here. Do they save the AWP? Do they try and go for the push? BCG ready and waiting for anything that might happen. They look to set up for the A site, but the bomb's still down.
Molotov comes in. BCG going to spot out Argos Age. And now I think after that, Argos Age wants to get the rotate on. But there's only 20 seconds. Really not enough time here to get this bomb down. It looks like they're just going for the overall save of that AWP. As Argos Age rushes straight out, trying to draw those rotates towards the A bomb site at the very least, so that Abysmal can save the AWP going into the next round. As it has definitely been the danger weapon here. Remains to be seen. BCG is so close, but not really going to put that push into full fruition. Doesn't want to lose his own AK there. But yeah, Tao has been pretty huge right now on that Southampton side. Unfortunately for him, the rest of the team just not really able to capitalize on his early picks. And
no, it's been pretty slow.
Back across. That's interesting.
Maybe he's going to be playing up close. I mean, if he's on fire, if he's fragging hard, then by all accounts, give him that entry fragger role. Let him push in first and let him take the faces. Abysmal seems to be capable with the AWP as well. If they push on out, BCG will find one, but that's all he's going to find as they take the Rafters player as well. And a very strong push from Southampton onto the A site allows them to get the plant with an advantage in the post-plant positions as well. 2 orcs to contend with, Synonym for Tree and Iwan, both on those long barrel scopes.
it would look
Yeah,
like
I'm just
they've
going to back
called
off. I
to
think,
save
yeah, they're
as
going
well.
to save here. They should save here.
Yeah, I think it's smart. 13 to 10. Still a very doable scoreline, and of course saving the double up setup into the next round. Economy wise and firepower wise could be absolutely huge if they're able to get a bit aggressive off the back of that. Take a quick look at the economy here. I think they could pull out some kind of a force buy. It'd be very risky indeed. They'd maybe have LSW on a FAMAS, perhaps, Rascart on a UMP, but BCG is going to be the one that will feel the brunt of it if they go for the force buy. But they could very well... yeah, I hadn't quite thought of that, actually. Drop some M4s across from those two players that had saved. Just looked at the economies of the players who were dead, so there you go.
Yeah.
Getting outbrained, perhaps, but still, BCG is going to be on that P250. So, it's not the ideal situation here for York.
No. Well, less than ideal, certainly, but they are on 13 rounds on their CT side. This is a strong position for them to be in, just in general, when you're sort of not taking the game into account. Having that 3-round advantage on a CT-sided map like this and getting the opening frags like that, that's really going to put you in a strong position. Tau will be challenging towards the outside, but Iwan is ready and waiting. The shadows should give Tau away if he opts to push, but instead, it's just the body that gives him away, and Iwan will land the shot. Already 2 players down, already with a massive advantage into the round. It's going to be very difficult now for Southampton to find any opening here.
I think this would be the game breaker as well. Again, it's such a key round. If they're able to take this one, it's going to reset that T economy. Might be able to pull out something, but really do need to win this one out. Renui is going to pull one back. A synonym for a tree with the AWP. Picks up 2 quick frags and secures the round for his team. Saving those AWP from the previous rounds. Showing how important it is just there. As the synonym for a tree especially, holding down that A-bomb site like a pro.
Well, what that's done is that's completely broken the Southampton economy. They have this sort of weird situation where they won a round, they lost a round, and now they're forced to go for these weird setups. And, they've got the UMP, they've got a CZ on Tau with those 2 AKs. It's just kind of weird, but apparently that's all they need, as Carlos is absolutely tearing through the CTs. That squeaky push is absolutely deadly. And it seems like he's having a good time with it as well. Now it's Iwan and Synonym for a treat. Again, we've seen this situation before. They just went for the save, and I think they're going to do so again. Exactly the same positions coming through as Carlos just demolishes the A site.
At this stage, maybe try and get a few exit picks, but a little bit more risky than it's worth. But yeah, perhaps something that Southampton should have pulled out earlier is using the fact that they've got Carlos and Tau, like we've mentioned before, and allow them to put the rest of the team in the backpack, especially on that T side. It is definitely doable if they can find the early picks. As we see in this round, Carlos, no flashes, no smokes, no nothing. He just runs straight out, finds the heads, and pretty much goes around there and then. Synonym for a tree will trade back Tau, and Iwan actually takes down Argos Age. So again, doing that economic damage. They may not win the round, but you look at those 2 players that just went down. Tau at the very least, it might feel a little bit. As a team, I suppose they're going to feel it because they need to drop a couple of rifles across that they otherwise wouldn't have had to do. Saving those 2 AWPs again, we saw how effective Synonym for a tree was previously, so there's no need to come out with a risky force buy because he again may be able to hold down that A-bomb site so very well with the AWP.
Iwan playing up actually really close on Squeaky, breaking down Vent and allowing them to play close as well on the outside. But meanwhile, the push is just completely swarmed over ramps. There's 2 players left on site, 1 player playing back, 1 player playing up close. BCG has the advantage there, but Argos Age able to take down 1 of the AWPs already. Rasclot is going to find 1, and Renui on a roll as well. An AWP and an AK, ready and waiting. The knife out. It's not going to do you any good. And actually, the bomb's down over towards lobby. They have control of this position. This is really strong for York. They need to go for a coordinated push. Try and come out of ramps. Try and come out of hut as well, all at the same time, and you might have a chance with it. Here we go. Renui will lead the charge, and Rasclot's looking completely the other way. The bomb gets picked up, and they're going to be able to get the plant now. So they let that one slip just a little bit too much. The bomb a little bit too far forwards. And Iwan potentially looking to save yet again. He could be going around the world for the road sake, but York looking pretty weird right now. They should be able to buy up next round, so I imagine the save will come through. Iwan retreating to secret, his standard saving position for that AWP.
Indeed. 14-12, still got a fair lead. You know, especially with it being so close to the victory scoreline. But again, it's risky on this Southampton side because it's the individual plays that are coming to light, not quite the team cohesion that perhaps, you know, in these clutch situations when it comes down to a post-plant situation 3 versus 2, that it's not going to help them out. Paul's actually coming in here. I'm not sure if you can allude to which team has called that because I cannot see the chat, so I'm not quite sure.
It is University of York. They've called for a tactical pause.
That would make sense, to be fair, but because obviously they're going for a very risky buy here, right? They're buying down to pretty much no money left in the coffers once they pull this one out. So they need to take this round because unless they do, their economy is going to be absolutely demolished going into the last stages of the game. And who knows? We could be seeing another overtime situation.
Certainly could. Seems like, well, when you reach the final stages of the NUEL, these teams do start to stack up and they do start to be able to bring the heat. And I might have discounted Leeds a little bit. Not Leeds, sorry. I might have discounted. You can see how similar the situation is, right?
Yeah.
But I might have discounted Southampton a little bit early going into this game. And they are showing some strength on this T side. Mainly, I have to say, on those A takes, on those fast plays that seem to catch York by surprise, they're just not quite able to deal with it. And that's mainly coming from Carlos. But if he's going to be on the AWP, I don't think they have that sort of pressure coming through again. And I think that if they aren't going fast, York have an advantage in all situations, pretty much. I think they have a little bit better aim, a little bit better on the rotations as well. So unless Southampton can just go for that full out, bang, we've taken this position and we are just going to run straight in, the York are just going to run away with it. Because, I mean, you need that sort of pressure and there's only so much you can do with full frontal rushes.
That's how they've won the rounds previously, isn't it? You know, just the one player that's leading the way is one of those stronger names. You know, Runway and Carlos are the two that we kind of look to. And they are easily able to just clear out a bomb site all by themselves. Which, like I say, many times this game, it's just not a reliable way of playing team-based CS. Either way, by coming in from the CT side, they've got that AWP in the hands of Iwan, so a chance perhaps to get something done now, as the early picks not yet coming in for either side. Carlos on this AWP, I think he may have gotten that off the back of a spawn. Someone blew up the squeaky door, but no one's playing aggressively there. Tau, though, he is definitely playing aggressive, finds ahead of Rasclat. There's another player he's got to deal with over towards Ram. He catches Synonym for a tree, running away as well. Carlos, with this AWP in hand, will make sure that BCG cannot rotate through. So a 5 versus 2 situation in favour of that Southampton side is now another call to save comes in from the York side.
Yeah, they need to call for this. Their economy very, very low. They need those rifles on board to give them a little bit of strength, some linchpins to play around on the next round. Because of course, 5 rifles saved for the University of Southampton. That's going to be a massive boost to their economy. They're already sat at minimum 1.4k, so they're going to be really, really happy with that. They should be able to buy for pretty much the rest of the game off the back of that. Of course, if they do lose a round, they will be in match point situation, and then they have to buy every round. But they should be sitting relatively pretty. Iwan might take face, but LSW is first to do so. And we'll go down. LSW looking to find the spray. Finds one, but does get shut down afterwards. So not the end of the world, but they do limit the economy somewhat. But it's not going to be super effective, given that Argos Age is sat up at that 8k mark. You've got 6k, 7k floating around. It's going to be very difficult to limit this, especially at this late stage in the game when you've only got 2-3 rounds remaining in the entire match.
Yeah, I think they needed that AWP at least as well going into this round, because should very easily be a 14th on the board here, and I would imagine a buy will come out from York in the next round, but it's not going to be the best of buys for sure. Rush comes in through Hutton. Rasclat and Synonym for a tree, however, will drop 2 of those AKs. Tau now has to survive here. He goes down a little bit spooked out by his teammate. Does find the head of BCG. Going to drop that bomb. Synonym for a tree now. Got his hand on the AK. Going to pick up a second kill onto Argos Age. And now it is all on Carlos. Luckily, he finds LSW, which leaves Synonym for a tree, who was on about 6 HP, I think.
Yeah,
so
he was.
Thankfully for his team, he's able to clean that one up. But again, losing a few too many players. But like you say, the economy of that T side really starting to get rolling, and it's not going to have too much of a dire effect going into round number 29.
No, but there's all stops out for York. If they lose this one, they pretty much lose the game because they will have no economy to play with after this round. You've got Southampton now looking to try and take this one home. They're trying to play fast onto this A site, and who can blame them? It's been working very, very well for them so far. They're looking to set up again, but a little bit slower goes the clock as York have a little bit of a respite here. You can see Rasclot on that MP7. As Carlos just opening it up, he is absolutely on a tear right now, and this game is pretty much his plaything at this stage. LSW playing back towards main. Tau playing up close. The flash goes through. That should give the game away. The smoke hasn't dissipated just yet, and LSW will capitalize.
Making it 4 versus 1. As Argos Agent Carlos picking up a few quick kills there, leaves Synonym for a tree in the 1 versus 4 situation. And yet again, something we have seen previously, he is running away to save that AWP, and I think he really, really does need to save this one for his team. Again, that CT economy is absolutely in dire straits right now. A 30 bomb from Carlos here. The T side, it would seem, is in fact the dominant side of Nuke. What do we know? But yeah. No, I think it's more been the solo plays are just not getting shut down by York. You know, Southampton are just, they not as a team, but they just have a few players who are able to run away and control rounds individually, and then just hope that the rest of the team can kind of clean up around them.
Just seems like York are a little bit lackluster. I mean, we saw at the start of the half, they were doing really well. They were making those crossfires. They were getting those picks. But as soon as Carlos came online, he's just been unstoppable. The AK shots he's making are absolutely insane. You know, just turning corners, finding the edge of smokes, and just absolutely smashing straight through the defenses. But at the moment, York, last chance saloon now. 15-14 on a scoreline after a very strong first half. And they're looking to go down at this stage. University of Southampton, they are very pleased with this comeback at this stage, but they need to find one more round to close it out.
3 FAMAS as well do bode well up against these AKs. Rasclot spots out one, doesn't even take the fight. His confidence is so knocked at this point, he just wants to run away and reposition himself, gets the info, and now there's going to be so many CTs stacked up on this A-bomb site. Again, if Carlos is able to come in and go absolutely huge, he might well be able to pick up another 3K to open it up for his team. Tau, I think, dropping off of the silo there, loses a fair chunk of his HP. So the CT's perhaps not quite aware of that one, but going to help them out nonetheless. As Rasclot in this corner is going to have work to do very shortly.
Oh!
Execute will come in.
Pushing aggressively, Iwan out of hut. Able to find the first pick. Carlos opens it up, though. He's in heaven. He's raining down, and he finds 3. He is absolutely demolishing York right now. Synonym for tree. BCG goes down. Just the one left standing between Southampton and their victory in the winners bracket to move on forwards further into the tournament. Synonym for tree has to go for this retake. No choice whatsoever. He's going out of hut. He's looking for the shots. He's looking to find Carlos, but the 4K to close it out. And this man is unstoppable. Southampton win it.
34-16 in regulation is absolutely massive, especially considering most of that was on the T side. He had so many 3K, 4K rounds. You know, there was rarely a round where he got under 2 kills. And if he did, it tended to be a round that his team would lose. Carlos there, just absolutely free reign in that second half. The CT side just not able to deal with him. They looked so good. You know, they seemed a hell of a lot more aware of how to play Nuke as a map. But when it came to shutting down that one individual that was just terrorizing them, not able to do so. So such a shame in the end to kind of lose after such a strong first half, you know, and a strong start to the second half. Yeah. It was just a huge mountain for Southampton to climb, and yet they managed to do it.
I think I have to give the credit all over to Carlos there. I think the rest of his team backed him up very well.
Yeah, for sure.
But
for sure.
That was an absolutely massive performance coming out from him. He was able to open up sights, find the picks anywhere and everywhere he went, and he was just a walking death machine in that second half on the T side. Definitely MVP for me.
Oh yeah, for sure. And 2 very good games this evening where we've seen the effectiveness of solo players and also kind of the ineffectiveness of how relying on those 1 or 2 individuals can really come back to haunt you and cost you the game. So 2 heartbreaking losses and 2 well-fought victories for both Leeds and Southampton in the end. Beautiful stuff. Really good Counter-Strike this week on the NUEL.
Yeah, it's been really, really exciting. We've gone quite a way as well. We've been for about an hour more, I think, than we had planned to. Certainly off the double overtime that we saw in the first game, and then going all 30 rounds in this second game. All in all, I've had a great time.
Yeah, it does set us up very well for our best of 3 playoffs and whatnot starting next week, which will of course be starting at the same time as usual, 7:15. Might be running a little bit late. It does depend on kind of the nature of how they go. Whether we get the all 3 maps that we would be hoping for and the close showing from all the teams to try and follow the upper bracket, especially. I think, we're going to be sticking with those teams, and it should be some really good Counter-Strike bodes well going forward. But either way, that's going to be it for this evening. It's been a very long evening indeed, but a great showing of Counter-Strike, and it's been a pleasure, as always, to cast with you, John, my friend.
Not a problem.
Yeah, thank you for being here, and thank you the viewers as well. If you've been here from the start, it's been wonderful to bring you this entertainment. And of course, do be sure to join us next week, same time, same place. We will see you then for the playoff action. Adios.